Hi, everybody. Good, beautiful Sunday. My name is Coach Darwin Rivers. And again, you are watching the HR Cafe, Trabaho, Buhay at Iba Pa. We're now at episode 56. Today is August 15. And as usual, you're in tune for your weekly weekend training program. The topic for today is NLP and conversational techniques applied in the workplace. So I hope that you guys are as excited as we are. So let's start our program. We would like to invite you to join us here at the HR Cafe, Trabaho, Buhay at Iba Pa. We are a virtual talk show and we're aired via FB uh, of the Philippines HR Group every Sunday, 3 p.m. We're also streamed live out at the Philippines HR Group YouTube channel. So you can browse through the different free training programs that we have there in YouTube, as well, of course, at the FB page of HR Cafe, Trabaho, Buhay at Iba Pa. As mentioned, I'm Coach Darwin Rivers. I'm the founder and president of the Philippines HR Group. I'm a certified life coach, a public speaker, a motivational speaker, and an HR consultant. And joining me today are my two gorgeous co-hosts. Let's start with Mentor Rona Del Ferentino. Mentor Rona, as we fondly called her, has more than 20 years of HR practitioner experience working in different local and international companies. She's currently the president and CEO of Approach Social Geeker. So coming from a full-fledged HR professional, he's now the CEO of her own company. She's well known to be a public speaker as well as an HR consultant. Another inspiring mentor is Mentor Tina Koang. She's an operations and HR leader with broad local and overseas experience. As mentioned, like Mentor Tina, she came from HR, but now she's a general manager of a large retail company. She's well known with her online content and blog, tinaandmanila.com. Both ladies, by the way, are part of the top 100 Filipinos to follow in LinkedIn. Unfortunately, we will be missing Mentor Burns Ordonez Kaasi for this episode, but he will be joining us in our next coming episodes. So, for all of you guys, please enter the HR Cafe. Here, we provide timely news and updates. We impart knowledge and experience that are value adding and beneficial. We discuss problems, issues, and challenges, and provide answers and resolutions, of course, through our guest resource. If there are new technologies, new tools and processes, we discuss them here so that we can share to you industry's best practices. If your company is hiring, please reach out to us and we'll be happy to announce it for free. The HR Cafe is also a virtual job board and we would like to connect job seekers to employers, especially this time where there's a lot of people who are seeking jobs because they've lost jobs because of the pandemic. At the end of the day, we would like to bridge understanding between employers and employees and provide inspiration and motivation. Just like the motto of the Philippines HR Group, the HR Cafe believes that we can advance HR in the Philippines. Now, in every episode of the HR Cafe, we start our program with our wow quote for the week. And for this week, this is a quote from Earl Nightingale. According to Earl Nightingale, the mind moves in the direction of our currently dominating thought. Let me repeat this. The mind moves in the direction of our currently dominating thought. Ladies and gentlemen, please share us how this particular quote resonates to you. What's your understanding of our wow quote for the week? But before that, please make sure to put your comments at the comment section, mention your name, where you're from, and what company you present. I'll give the floor to Coach Rona and Coach Tina for their understanding. and sharing of the wow quote for the week.
Ayan, sige, I'll go ahead na. Clear po ba ako? Okay,
Yes.
bago ko po sabihin kung ano ang dating sa akin itong quote na to, I would like to greet first yung atin pong mga early birds sa atin pong HR Cafe. So, blessed Sunday din po, Miss Mary Jane Retig, Miss Mirna Cabantog, and Miss Alu de Terra. Ito po ay mga ano natin, mga usual na tambay talaga natin dito sa HR Cafe. Ayan. So maraming salamat po at nandito na naman po ulit kayo. Ngayon, balik tayo sa ating wow quote for the week. The mind moves in the direction of our currently dominating thought. Nako, at palagi nating naririnig yung mga tao sinasabi na, 'di ba, positive thinking, positive thinking. And oftentimes hindi natin 'to masyadong binibigyan na pansin na, madali lang sa'yo mag-positive thinking kasi wala kang problema. But in reality, our thoughts are powerful. Di ba last week sabi natin, words are powerful? Our words come from our thoughts. And if our words are powerful, our thoughts are powerful as well. So kung ano yung iniisip natin, kung ano yung ating lingering na iniisip about ourselves, about the people around us, about our situation, naku, maaari yang maging totoo. Diba? Maaari yang kumbaga sabi nga nila, self-fulfilling prophecy. If you keep telling yourself that you cannot do it, then every fiber of your being will feel that you really cannot do it. If you keep thinking to yourself na, ay maganda ako, then every fiber of your being will be towards that thought na maganda ka, that you are confident with what you have. So, totoo yung sinasabi ni Earl Nightingale. The mind moves in the direction of our currently dominating thought. Kung anong inyong dominant thought, kung ano yung palagi nyong iniisip, doon pupunta your mind, your body, and every fiber of your being will move in that direction. Kasi hindi naman po pwede nang iniisip mo, maganda ka, pero lahat noong ginagawa mo shows na ang pangit mo, or sasabihin mo na, iisipin mo na I am confident, pero pag naharap ka sa isang situation, ay hindi ko kaya yan. Kasi you feel, you believe that you are confident. So tayo, let's be careful with our thoughts. Kasi our thoughts become our words. So, and our words oftentimes becomes our actions. So let's be careful with how we think and what we think. Ayan. What about you, Mentor Tina? Ano pa masasabi mo?
Continuing your greetings, we'd like to greet Alu Terra, who's watching from Taguig, Brie Gonzalez, who's watching from Tarlac City, Florence Feliciano says good afternoon to everyone, Apple Damesa says happy Sunday, wow, it's another fruit for learning, happy learning, Izel says good afternoon from Butuan City, Agusan del Norte, Mindanao. So umabot tayo ng Luzon, Visayas at Mindanao. My my comment for the wow quote of the week is this. You've talked about the importance of how we think. Now, my question is, ano yung linalaman ng mga utak natin ngayon? Ulitin ko ha. What's inside our heads? Are our thoughts very positive? Results-oriented? Are they happy thoughts? Are they thoughts na merong solusyon? Kasi tayong mga Pilipino, mahilig tayong magreklamo, mahilig tayong mag-isip kung ano ang karami-rami nating problema sa buhay natin. So when all these reklamo, complaints, yung nanay mo, galit ka sa nanay mo, galit ka sa asawa mo, galit ka sa buhay mo, galit ka sa boss mo, just imagine what type of life you might have. And then you say, bakit naman ng malas ko, napaka-miserable ko talaga. Well, that's because your thought is all complaints and all negative thoughts and all bad thoughts towards other people. So in order for you to have good things in life, I would strongly encourage our members to fill your head with positive thoughts. Kung galit ka sa boss mo, wag araw-araw ka magreklamo. Either lumipat ka ng trabaho or galingan mo para ikaw yung maging boss ng boss mo. Right? Solution-based. Kung ayaw mo sa asawa mo, isip mo wala kwenta. Oh, there's two ways. Either iwanan mo or you fill your thoughts and say, well, okay lang kasi dahil you make it na, well, at least he's a good father, he supports us, he takes care of the kids or whatever it might be na positive, and use that. Because life is too short when you complain, criticize. Kasi ang problema, when we always look at the bad things of other people around us, we forget what type of person we've becoming. Hindi pala natin nalalaman sa pagrereklamo natin, sa pagiging nega natin, walang may gustong tumabi sa atin. Kasi puro tayong reklamo, puro tayong negative. So and it doesn't help change your situation, increase your bank account, and change your life. If you want to change your life, change the direction of your thought. If you want to be rich, try to ask yourself, how do you earn more? Wala na akong magagawa, dito lang ako sa kumpanya ko eh. But ayaw mo na lang, kaysa pag-isip-isip kung paano kang kawawa, why don't you just think of ways on how to excel in your workplace so that you can have a higher pay? And if your boss does not recognize that, change your boss by changing your company. And if you're worth that much, of course, 'di ba? It's the highest bidder. People will pay talaga for you. But if you continue to ask yourself, why me, and not ask yourself why not, and move towards the direction of why not, then please do not blame yourself na pagdating ng senior, magre-retire ka na, iniisip mo pa rin ay ikaw ang pinakamalas na tao sa balat ng lupa. Change the way you think and you will change your life. Coach Darwin?
Agree. Nako, napaka-deep talaga ng mga sinabi ni Mentor Rona and Mentor Tina. For me, we all know, based on science, that we're only using less than 5% of our brain capacity. And you know what? Di ba kakatapos na ng Tokyo Olympics? I just wanted to share to you that all of the Olympians who participated in the Olympics ever since, meron silang mga psychiatrists at psychologists. Part yan ng coaching team. And what the psychologists and psychiatrists are teaching Olympiads is, bago pa sila mag-perform ng isang act, bago pa sila mag-perform ng kanilang sport, iniisip na nila. Kailangan, iniisip na nila kung paano gagawin yon. So it's in their mind already on how to make it perfect, on how to for them to win that gold medal. And because of that strategy, a lot of people, a lot of Olympians are able to achieve whatever they're thinking. That's really one of the secrets in terms of Olympics. So it's a perfect example that your mind overpowers your being. So whatever your thought, your body just follows. And you know what? Nung bata pa tayo, and this is what I would like to share to you, nung bata pa tayo, di ba, pag ayaw natin pumasok sa eskwelahan, ang ginagawa natin, nagsasakit-sakitan tayo, we feel down, we feel gloomy, parang ang bigat-bigat ng katawan natin. Even right now, 'di ba? Pag Lunes, pag meron tayong pag ayaw natin makita yung boss natin, pag ayaw natin makita yung a certain coworker, pag ayaw nating karoon ng issue sa traffic and whatnot, we tend to think na, nako, mukhang magkakasakit ako, mukhang masama pakiramdam ko. And lo and behold, talaga nagkakasakit ka. Talaga nagkakaroon ng effect yung iniisip mo sa body mo. So that's what I'm trying to say. Your mind is very powerful. Whatever you think, your body follows. So please watch your thoughts. And as what Mentor Rona and Mentor Tina mentioned, try to evade all the negative thoughts in your life. These are thoughts, those negative thoughts will not help you achieve what you want. It will not help you achieve where you really want to go in your life. You should only focus on the positive things. You should only focus on the things that would help you achieve your goals. So that's for me for our wow quote for the week.
Coach, may dadagdag lang ako sa sinabi natin, ha. Meron kasi akong there is one another quote that palagi ko siya natatandaan. Ang sabi doon sa quote na yon, be careful when you stare at the abyss, because the abyss will stare back at you. One way of interpreting that is, be careful what you're thinking, because what you're thinking will consume you. Okay, whatever it is, positive, negative, it will consume you. If you think positive thoughts, okay, meron din naman pong tinatawag na toxic positivity. We're not talking about toxic positivity. We're talking about pure and simple positive thoughts. If you think of positive thoughts, if you're able to train your mind, then ikaw ang may control over your thoughts will not consume you. But if you keep focusing on the negative and you are unable to control it, change the direction of your thoughts, sabi nga ni Mentor Tina, then the negative thoughts will consume you and everything about you will be negative. People will not like being with you because you keep seeing things from the negative perspective. You keep pulling them down, you keep making them feel depressed, feel as if wala nang pag-asa. So be careful with your thoughts. Be careful which direction you are looking. Because the direction that you are looking at, that direction will also stare back at you.
Agree, agree. Mentor Tina, any thoughts from our audience about this wow
Ah,
quote for the week?
a lot of shout outs. Sabi niya, think before you speak and click. People do agree and they're actually shouting out from the HR group Lucena chapter from Lucena City, Quezon province. So good afternoon. Watching also from Pampanga by Miss Juvie Alipio. So we have a all around.
Okay, okay. Well, bago tayo mag-shift dun sa ating next part, no. Ano pahabol lang sa wow portfolio kasi naisip ko to, if you remember Mentor Rona, last year we've had um Miss Penny Bongato as a guest, and the discussion with Penny is creating a vision board, 'di ba? And I just wanted to share na yung vision board kasi na yon, it actually helps you, it helps your mind focus on the positive thoughts of the things that you would like to achieve positively in your life. That's why, I mean, that 'di ba meron tayong mga vision board, meron tayong mga vision journal, meron tayong mga dream diaries and whatnot. So these are the tools that actually help you make your mind focus on the positive things in life or the positive things that you would like to happen in your life. So just be careful and just be mindful that whatever you think, it comes into reality. Again, you are a magnet of your thoughts. So let's go to our uh, next portion. This is the HR question for the week. Naku, marami na naman ako nakikita na questions sa PHRG. Kasi di ba malapit na naman ang bird season at napakarami na namang holidays. Marami nagtatanong, are managers in above level positions entitled to 13th month pay, holiday pay, night differential, and overtime pay? Now, before I give the floor to Rona and to Tina, of course, these are the things that they would like to discuss and share to you guys. Doon na ako sa 13th month pay. We have to understand that 13th month pay comes from a presidential decree way back Marcos era. It's a presidential decree 851, which states that all rank and file employees are entitled to 13th month pay regardless of the amount of basic salary that they receive in a month. Part of that presidential decree says that it must, however, be noted that managerial employees are not entitled to 13th month pay. So basically, managers and above level positions, basis on the presidential decree of 851, which provides a 13th month pay bonus, explicitly says that only rank and file employees are entitled to 13th month pay. Managerial employees and above are not entitled to 13th month pay. Pero may caveat yan, di ba? If the company offers you the 13th month pay already, it's already in your employment contract, and if the company has it's part of the existing benefit of the company for managers and above, then this is a benefit that the company provides. And of course, even as long as the employer meets the minimum standards of the law or what is required by law, then it will be given to you. Now, Mentor Rona, Mentor Tina, any thoughts on this? Marami nagtatanong eh. 13th month pay, holiday pay, night
Yeah.
differential, OT.
Yes, ayan. So, doon sa 13th month pay, bago tayo pumunta doon sa night differential and overtime and holiday pay, doon pa lang sa 13th month, baka magkagulatan na naman po kasi parang last year nagkagulatan din. May report po na required kayong isubmit prior to January 15 pag nakapag-release na po kayo ng inyong 13th month. Ang reporting po niyan ay online na po. Hindi po yan bagong process. That process has been around for quite some time, but it was only last year that Dole became very strict with that one and reiterated the need for that report. That report was actually a requirement even before pa. Hindi lang masyadong naghihigpit si Dole about it. But given the situation that we have, of course, Dole needs to make sure that the employees are protected. So medyo naghihigpit sila ngayon on the reports for the 13th month. So make sure that you file that report using reports.dole.gov.ph if I remember correctly. Okay, now, as far as holiday pay, night differential, and overtime pay is concerned, all of this can be found under Book 3 of the Labor Code. Book 3 is Conditions of Employment. At palagi ko sinasabi, especially those who are attending webinars with Uprosh, lagi namin sinasabi na whenever you read something within the labor code, look for the first article doon sa book na yon because it will state kung kanino ba nag-a-apply yung particular book na yon. So in the case of book 3, the first article states there that it doesn't cover anything that's within book 3. Hindi kasama doon, hindi covered ang managers and managerial staff. Hindi kasama ang field personnel where you don't have a way to accurately identify how many hours they have spent at work. Hindi kasama dyan yung mga government employees. Okay, if I remember correctly, kung tama yun.
Correct.
Yun po ang sinasabi ng ating Book 3 pagdating po sa Labor Code. So, Article 82 yun, nakalagay dyan yung mga coverage, parang nasobrahan ata ako. I think managerial employees, field personnel, members of the family of an employer, yaan po, government employees, yaan po, hindi po yaan covered ng Book 3, which means that holiday pay, night differential, and overtime, hindi po covered yaan. Ngayon, managers hindi po covered. Ito yung nakakatawa minsan na little known fact, not many companies most companies in the Philippines, they do not generally follow this. But when it comes to managerial staff, we are actually considered as managerial staff. HR people are actually considered as part of managerial staff because the definition of managers and managerial staff are those people who have the capacity to recommend the hiring, the firing, and the performance management of employees. And HR yun po yung ginagawa natin. So, technically, exempted tayo, hindi dapat tayo merong OT, holiday pay, and night tip. But, if it's something, tulad nga nung caveat kanina ni Coach Darwin, if it's something that your company has been practicing for quite some time, matagal na kayong binibigyan ng overtime, matagal na kayong may holiday pay, matagal na kayong merong night differential, even if the labor code exempts you from that, it's already a practice that has blossomed into a policy. It cannot be unilaterally removed from you. Kailangan, when we say unilaterally, ibig sabihin tatanggalin, walang kapalit. If it needs to be removed, then it has to be replaced with something that is of equal value. Yan po. So tatandaan po natin yan. So generally, managers and above, wala po ang holiday pay, night differential, and overtime pay. Ayan. Mentor Tina, meron ka po ba maidadagdag?
Or in
Yes.
your experience, Mentor Tina, marami ba nagreklamo or marami bang companies ang nag-exempt ng mga managers basis sa existing laws?
Here's the thing, and I'm kind of, natatawa nga ako kasi it's part of the ninja moves of many companies na tawagin ang isang taong rank and file as manager by replacing the title or the role of the person as parang manager. So, kunyari, kaisa-isang finance officer, tatawagan ng finance manager, pero ikaw lang talaga yung tao na nandun. Wala kang tao under you. You have no right to hire and fire. You're pretty much just balancing the book. You're actually technically the bookkeeper, but since kaisa-isang finance officer ka lang sa company, so technically you're already a finance manager, and hence sometimes there are some companies who will say exempted ka sa holiday pay, night differential, overtime pay in 13th month because according according to the law, managerial employees are exempted from these things. You have to be very careful, mga kababayan. If you are a managerial employee, it must be very clear that you actually have that you meet all of these conditions. The first one is you actually manage an establishment or a subdivision. You must actually have at least two or more people under you. So if you're just working alone and tawag sa'yo finance manager, hindi ka po managerial. Finance officer ka lang na merong konting uplift yung iyong title. And number three, you have the authority to hire and fire people of lower rank. So again, wala tayong ninja moves because I know many
Mm,
companies do that. Now we do have a
true,
question
true.
on the floor from Mang Juan Tomas. He's asking whether managerial employees should be paid higher compared to the general employees. And the answer is, although it is not mandated by law, as management can has the prerogative to set salary so long it is above minimum wage, I would strongly suggest that that the companies have a balance in mind. Okay lang minsan na mas mababa yung monthly pay ng isang manager so long as sana dapat yung annual pay ng isang tao is mas mataas than a normal rank and file. You can do this by giving incentives, performance bonuses, bahay, kotse, and all other things that you want to give. Pero dapat talaga ang managerial, given their higher trust and confidence, bibigyan mo ng mas marami. And this is to prevent future problems later on such as theft. This is also in the same vein as public officials being paid more for their services para at least hindi sila magnakaw. Kasi if you do not do that and you pay them the same, trust me, number one, walang tatagal sa'yo. And number two, pag tumagal sila sa'yo, tanungin mo sa sarili mo kung bakit. Kasi meron talaga, pupuslitin yan, no matter what, just because they think it is very unfair to them.
True, true, true. Wala naman talaga sa batas natin na nagsasabi na kailangan mas taas ang sweldo ng isang manager. But it is a good practice. It's
Correct.
actually what you should be doing na whenever you have someone of higher level, dapat mas mataas naman talaga. Ang expectation is that there should be a higher salary. Kasi what's the sense of putting them in a higher level or higher position if you are not paying them the recommended or the higher salary because of the work that they do. Tandaan natin, the higher you go up the corporate ladder, the more na ang focus is more on your planning, on your strategizing, and things like that. So, tama lang na bayaran sila na mas mataas. There's nothing in the labor code requiring that, but it is a good practice to prevent, tulad nga ng sabi ni Mentor Tina, theft, and to prevent yung attrition sa mga talents
Correct.
ninyo. Iingatan nyo yan.
Agree on both Mentor Tina and Mentor Roland. That's the reason why companies should always have a salary bracket for each and every role and level in the organization. That's the reason why, di ba, whenever we do salary bracketing, whenever we do salary benchmark, titingnan natin ang internal and external parity para maging competitive tayo at para ma-make sure natin na may differentiation yung salary and benefits ng uh, per rank and level sa organization natin. Because kung wala, then magkakaroon talaga ng pagko-compare, magkakaroon talaga ng demoralization at it will lead to a lot of attrition in your organization. Okay? So let's go ahead for our weekly updates for the statutory benefits and DOLE updates. Let me just go ahead. First, according to DOLE reports, over 640,000 OFWs have already returned to work home since the time of the pandemic. So, more than 640,000 overseas Filipino workers have returned to the country and transported to their home provinces, the Labor Department has said just this Monday. In a virtual briefing, Labor Secretary Silvestre Bello reported that 641,717, which is the exact number of OFWs who have been reunited with their families after undergoing strict quarantine protocols. And this OFWs, they were still expecting about more than 9,000, yet to complete the requirements. So mula po nung time na nagkaroon ng pandemic, almost more than 740,000 na ho ang OFWs na umuwi. And because, as I've mentioned, this is a global pandemic and a lot of countries are also affected. A lot of jobs, hindi lang po sa Pilipinas ang nagkaka-experience na maraming kumpanya ang nagsasarado. Kaya po sa mga HR natin, kung meron po tayong opportunity to hire people, opportunity to expand your headcount, please work with your leaders. Let's give jobs to our fellow Filipino countrymen and especially to our OFWs. Next is another press release from the Department of Labor and Employment, according to DOLE Labor Secretary Silvestre Bebot Bello III. He's warning employers that the Labor Department will issue an order for those who will not let their employees report to work just because they're not vaccinated. This is in relations to what they've announced earlier, the wala pong no work, no vaccine policy. So in a virtual briefing, Secretary Bello reiterated his advisory that unvaccinated workers should still be able to go to work and should not be discriminated against. He also encouraged the workers to be vaccinated and not to be afraid, saying that vaccines are harmless and that it is not mandatory but necessary to our current condition right now. So that's the latest from the Department of Labor and Employment. Now, for updates on the Philippine Social Security System, I'll give the floor to Mentor Rona Del Florentino. Mentor Rona.
Ayan po. Okay. So pagdating po kay SSS, syempre ang ating paboritong government agency, nire-remind lang po tayo na meron po kayo hanggang August 31 para po ibalik yung mga SBWS na na-release para doon sa mga hindi naman talaga qualified na employees and employers last year. Okay, so ito po ay kailangan nyo ibalik bago pa, on or before August 31. Email a scanned copy of the deposit slip or the proof na kayo po ay nagbalik na to sbwsreturns@sss.gov.ph. Ngayon, baka sabihin nyo na, ay hindi naman nila mamomonitor yan kahit hindi ko na ibalik ito, or yung mga employees natin baka sabihin na bakit binigay nyo na wala nang bawian. Naku po, ingat-ingat po kayo dahil failure to submit the complete information by the deadline may lead to the government being unable to track your voluntary returns, which in turn will result in appropriate criminal or civil action in court. So yan po, maaari po kayong makasuhan dahil dyan. So please make sure po kung meron pong mga hindi naman talaga qualified for SBWS or nasobrahan po ng bigay, make sure that you return that kasi maaari po kayong makasuhan dyan. Ayan po. Okay. At pinapaalala din po ni SSS kung kayo po ay medyo naghahanap ng mga webinars at tagtipid po kayo, meron actually si SSS na e-learning SSSEL portal. Ayan, Excel portal. Ayan, po pwede po kayong mag-login dyan. May mga links po yan. Punta lang po kayo sa page ng SSS, Facebook page nila, or pwede kayong dumiretso po sa kanilang website. Nandun po yung mga links kung saan po pwede po kayong mag-enroll para dun po sa kanilang mga online classes para po doon sa mga iba't ibang benefits and privileges na ino-offer po ni SSS. Bukod po dyan, si SSS po actually ay meron po silang regular na mga in-depth seminar at meron din po silang mga free webinars every now and then for specific topics. Make sure lang po na kayo po ay nakaka-receive. So make sure na yung po inyong SSS account mismo sa my.sss, yung email address po doon ay tama dahil ang inyo pong account officer will send notifications kung kailan po magaganap itong mga webinars na ito para po kayo po ay makapag-enroll. Marami po nag-enroll dyan at limited lang po ang slot. So bilisan nyo po ang pag-enroll. Pag hindi nyo po nakuha, check nyo po kagad kung kailan po yung susunod na schedule kasi sa totoo lang, ang hirap pong kumuha ng schedule dyan. There was a time na nag-enroll ako around January or Feb. Ang nakuha ko na po ay yung May na schedule. Ganun katindi yung pong kanilang mga schedule. But I would assure you na pag kayo po ay umattend, lalo na nung kanilang in-depth seminar, marami po kayong matututunan. Ito pong kanilang Excel portal, this is more of a self-paced training po. So if you prefer na talagang merong live na facilitator, go for the in-depth webinar. Okay po? Yan. And then po, pinapaalala din ni SSS na ang pension loans po para sa ating mga pensioners ay po pwede na po online gawin ang application. So hindi nyo na po kailangan pang pumunta sa SSS branch. Pwede na po kayo mag-file for a pension loan online. Sino lang po ang po pwede mag-apply for pension loan? Siyempre, yung mga pensioners po. Yung mga empleyado po, wag nyo po muna yung tignan. Yan po ay wala pa po kayo dyan. Salary loan lang po ang po pwede nating applyan. But for the pensioners po natin, yung mga hindi na po nagtatrabaho at tumatanggap na lang po ng pension, you can apply for it online. Yun pong proceeds ay isisend na lang po sa inyong bank account at ang payment po ay i-deduct na lang po doon sa inyong monthly pension na nakukuha. Ayan po. At isa pa pong reminder din po kay SSS, in case lang po na hindi nyo po napansin, si SSS po ay nag-issue na po ng circular regarding the deadline of payment for the month of July. So hanggang September 30 po ay pwede kayong magbayad for the month of July. Pag nag-check po kayo na inyong PRN, actually adjusted na po yung date. So mapapansin nyo po na ang due date nang nakalagay doon ay September 30. Kaya si SSS po ay wala na po masyadong announcement ngayon kasi in-adjust na po nila mismo doon po sa online portal po nila sa PRN po, makikita nila po. Wala pa pong announcement on the loans, contributions pa na po, ina-announce nila for NCR. So kung kayo po ay wala sa NCR, hindi po kayo ECQ, baka hindi po adjusted yung sa inyo. So yung circular po na sinend po nila ay for NCR at para lang po dun sa mga naka-ECQ po. So antay-antay lang po kayo, check nyo lang po yung inyong PRN kung ano po yung due date na nakalagay doon. Ayan po.
Okay, thank you very much, Mentor Rona. Let's go for updates in pag-ibig and PhilHealth. Mentor Tina.
All right. Even for pag-ibig, masipag po sila kasi hindi po sila nagsasarado sa loob ng ECQ and MECQ. So their branches in areas under ECQ and MECQ are open from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Mondays to Fridays. They do have drop boxes outside their offices as well so they can receive registrations and certain claims of the pag-ibig savings. That is for the retirement claims po ng mga taong 64 years old. So, and also to address MP2 savings pre-termination just in case you need that money right now. So if you're questioning bukas po ba ang pag-ibig hindi na nagsasarado tulad ng pag-ibig natin sa ating mga pamilya. Next slide. Same thing with GCQ, MGCQ, and ECQ. So same naman, masipag po sila. They're open naman from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Lalo na pag GCQ or MGCQ na. Para walang problema, pumunta na lang doon from 9 to 3 para hindi kayo masaraduhan. Now, for the Pag-ibig loyalty card, this is just a kind reminder that you can get a 5% off from your McDonald's treat if for a minimum purchase of 200 pesos. So kung wala pa kayong Pag-ibig loyalty card plus, kumuha na rin kayo. Pagpunta ninyo sa Pag-ibig, sa pagdating ninyo, please inquire na rin doon sa loyalty card kasi talaga ang dami niyang mga benefits na hindi natin alam. Para siyang vaccination card, pero mas maganda pa kasi matagal na tong maraming benepisyo. Now, ang pabatid, ang PhilHealth naman. PhilHealth announces no ECQ in NCR from 6 to 20, although their call center might be affected. So if you have any questions with regards to PhilHealth, they encourage you lang to either Facebook them, Twitter them, email them, or call them on their callback channel. And when they have the time, they will call you back. para siyang, para siyang, I'll just call you back. But that's true. That's for PhilHealth naman. Now, for the PhilHealth, they also remind everyone that people can pay online. So if you do not have access to your online portal, please do so after this ECQ kasi sa totoo lang talagang maipit pag kunyari hindi ka nakabayad dahil hindi mo ma-access ang online portal ninyo. Again, a lot of employees do not know you can actually register and access your PhilHealth online portal and pay your contributions there. Please do so at the best possible time kasi marami pang mangyayari later on. Mas maganda gawin mo na lang siya online para hindi ka na lumabas kasi sa totoo lang, ang hassle talaga ng bayad center. Sobrang hassle. Next. Pero ito, even though minsan mas mahirap makipag-coordinate with PhilHealth, marami pa rin siyang benefits. So this is a reminder, aside from all the other benefits that we've mentioned previously, there is actually PhilHealth coverage para sa asthma. That's a lot of people. So if you do have asthma, the PhilHealth benefit package is 9,000 pesos, covering 6,300 pesos if you are hospitalized and 2,700 professional fees. So whenever you are sick and going to the hospital, always ask the admissions or the counter, may tumatanggap ba kayo ng PhilHealth? Kasi talaga malaking savings regardless of whatever sickness you have. Kasi as we've discussed in the HR Cafe, kahit na anong sabihin mo sa PhilHealth, anong skandalo meron niya, sa totoo lang, if you know your benefits, there is really a lot of coverage.
Agree. Thank you very much, Mentor Tina. Now, let's go to our sponsors. I would like to invite everyone to please check El Puerto Marina Beach Resort and Vacation Club. El Puerto Marina Beach Resort and Vacation Club has beach resorts in Pangasinan and also in Boracay. And they will soon to open another beach resort and beach hotels in Palawan. So for all of the members of the Philippines HR Group, and if you are an avid listener of the HR Cafe, Usapang Trabaho, Buhay, Iba Pa, please reach out through El Puerto Marina via their FB page and inform them that you are a member of the Philippines HR Group. You are entitled to special rates and discounts. For all of you guys who are looking for virtual HR certification, the Philippines HR Group is partnered with People Matters Singapore and People Matters India under their BNext program. All members of the Philippines HR Group gets 35% off for all of their online certification programs. If your company is looking for an HRM management system, then we would like to invite you to reach out to People Force HRM. People Force HRM offers members of the Philippines HR Group 14 days of free trial for you to check out their applicant tracking system, People Recruit, their performance management system, People Perform, their HRIS management system, People HR, and payroll system, People Time, and also engagement system, People Pulse. Just reach out to People Force HRM FB page. Okay. And if you have any questions, as mentioned, please, you can post your HR questions at the main page of the Philippines HR Group. And we have the whole community who will be able to help you. We believe that no one has a monopoly of knowledge. So for every questions that you post there, a lot of people will be ready to assist and provide you with to share experience and share informations to you. We also would like to uh, ask you to join the FB group page and LinkedIn group page of the Philippines HR Group. We have a growing community at LinkedIn for the Philippines HR Group. Just go to groups in LinkedIn and type Philippines HR Group. And also, for you to be able to watch the past episodes of the HR Cafe, Usapang Trabaho, Buhay, Iba Pa, make sure that you like the FB page of HR Cafe, Usapang Trabaho, Buhay, Iba Pa. And we're happy to announce that starting from today, we're again live streaming at the YouTube channel of the Philippines HR Group. So you will be able to watch all of the previous episodes of the Philippines HR Group. We're now at episode 56. Makikita nyo from episode 1 up to now ang mga previous episodes namin sa YouTube channel ng Philippines HR Group. So make sure you like and subscribe there. Okay? If you have any questions or for sponsorship, please send us an email, darwinrivers@yahoo.com, or you can message our HR Cafe mentors, Mentors Tina, Mentors Rona, myself, and also Mentors Burns kaasi. Okay? So that's it. And as mentioned, for part 2 of our the HR Cafe Usapang Trabaho, Buhay, Iba Pa, our free training program. And for this week, we have no other than Ken Somera and Luigi Manoza, both NLP practitioners. This is related to the previous topic last week. Napakarami po kasi ang nagsubaybay sa episode ni Coach Jonica about NLP, Neuro Linguistic Programming, and how NLP works in the workplace. So we've invited Ken Somera and Luigi Manoza to talk about NLP and conversational techniques and how it can be applied in the workplace. So to properly introduce them, I will give the floor to mentors Rona and mentors Tina.
Ayan. So, mauna na po ako. The person that I would be introducing, if you've been active in HR communities, you would know of this person because he's been active in the HR industry for quite some time. He is one of the few persuasion specialists here in the Philippines. You might have heard about him in secretive social circles. Although actually ako kilala ko siya because of his presence in a number of HR communities. He has helped a number of individuals, teams, companies get their messages growing in the mind of their specific audience. He's a certified conversational hypnotherapist who has been practicing and using NLP and hypnosis since 2010. So ganun na po siya katagal na active sa ating pong industry and has applied it in the areas of sales, public speaking, coaching, personality development, as well as in therapy. He is often consulted for his understanding and persuasion, negotiation, hypnotherapy, and of course, yun nga, tulad nga na sabi ko kanina, personality development. Please help me in welcoming none other than Mr. Ken Somera. Ayan po.
Yun! Yun, ang bilis Thank you. Thank you for that kind introduction. And it's super happy ako nandito ngayon.
Our second guest, partner po ni Sir Ken, is Sir Luigi Ray Manoza. He is an internationally certified conversational hypnotherapist focusing on groups like those with depression, anxiety, and mental stress. With his understanding on concepts and with regards to NLP and hypnotherapy, this has been applied in terms of these groups: sales, marketing, advertising, branding, personality development, mental health, leadership, and of course, human resources. He is currently working on his practice with hypnotherapy, giving people back their choice one thought at a time. He is the founder of the NLP and Hypnosis Academy. So when people ask me about NLP, tama po ba na sinasabi natin na this is one way to make people you communicate with think that your idea is their idea? Perfect for any HR who is talking to an employee and sharing their own ideas para maging idea din ng employee na yon. Let us welcome Sir Luis.
Yan, Luigi.
Luigi.
Yeah, what's up?
Sir Luigi.
Hindi ako si Luis
Luigi.
Manzano.
Kaya nga,
Pero
Luigi.
Manzano,
Luigi
medyo
Ray.
Manoza. Yeah.
Luigi
Kidding
Manoza.
aside, yes, ang pinakinggan ko yung talk nyo kanina, so wonderful. And syempre, before we begin, greet lang muna natin yung mga viewers natin ngayon. Hi sa inyong lahat. Again, my name is Luigi Manoza, the founder of NLP and Hypnosis Academy, and we're gonna be talking about a lot of things today. So, yan.
All
Get
right,
ready.
so we'll turn over the floor to you. We'll be in the background. Please share your presentation, if any.
Siyempre. So, ito, i-share na natin, simulan na natin. I think we have 1 hour to actually deliver. Pero siguro bago tayo magsimula, bigyan lang natin ng konting guidelines, no? We also want this talk or webinar to be interactive. So, again, if you have any questions, tara, dire-diretso tayo dito, di ba? So, I'm gonna share my screen here. Wait lang. And here we go. All right. So, pag-uusapan natin dito, NLP and Conversational Hypnosis Applied. 'Di ba? Kasi kung titingnan natin, ang daming techniques, ang daming application ng Neuro Linguistic Programming and ng conversational hypnosis. Okay. So, syempre, short introduction lang yun nga. Nasabi na naman, kami ni Luigi Manoza, we're both certified conversational hypnotherapist. We've been practicing since way back 2000, ako way back 2009, 2010, and then professionally as a conversational hypnotherapist around 2015. So NLP has been one of the key things that I've been really, really interested with, lalo na sa subconscious mind, how we could influence people, how we could persuade people, how we negotiate our terms then. Sabi nga ni Tina kanina, di ba, yung parang tunog doon inception eh. Pero again, we could talk about that in a bit. Okay? Yeah. So, partner ko naman, Luigi, yeah, you could tell something about yourself.
There you go. So yeah.
Yun.
So, by the way, my name is Luigi Manoza. Again, as you've heard, kanina, I'm the founder of NLP and Hypnosis Academy. So, what I've been doing in the past decade is I've been helping CEOs, managers, startup owners, people with like a problem with mental health, yung makakuha sila or makapag-decide sila to take action on whatever goals that they have at the moment or kung ano yung gusto nilang maabot or like what kind of mental state they want to be in.
Uh-huh.
So I help them tawag dito, make that decision to take action. Kasi bago lahat ng action, kailangan mo muna mag-decide, gagalaw ka ba? And most importantly is whatever the results that they may have, they will be comfortable with it. So, and that's aside from me being a sales trainer for over a decade now. So yon yung isang inad ko siguro mga 5 years ago.
Mhm. Okay. So, bigyan namin kayo ng brief understanding also about hypnosis muna. Let's talk about this slide, hypnosis. So, yung excitement ko with sales and communication, sobrang parang I wanted the skill that could be greater than just normal communication. Yun yung iniisip ko nung naka-focus ako sa sales nun. And sabi ko, teka lang, ano yung magandang skill? Sabi ko, pero ang naisip ko na lang nun is parang yung fascination ko with hypnosis. Parang sabi ko, teka lang, sa Pilipinas ang tawag nun budol-budol eh. So sabi ko, teka lang, paano kaya ako matuto ko nun? Ano kaya yung magiging benefit nun para sa akin, di ba? So I searched the internet. I wanted to study how it works, hypnosis, and paano ko siya i-apply sa sales, talking to people. And dun ko napansin na teka lang, ang daming pwedeng aralin dito sa hypnosis to. It's about the mind din eh. Tapos dun ko nakita rin yung Neuro Linguistic Programming. Okay? And upon studying it, sobrang na-fascinate ako dito kasi it's not just for upgrading your style of communication eh. Kasi ang napansin ko attending workshops and seminars for this, it was more focused on therapy and helping people create better decisions, giving them options so that they could decide better. Okay? And then, going deeper, ang dami na nung techniques and approaches that napansin namin, karamihan na nakikita namin na NLP practitioners and hypnotherapists gets to work with anxiety, depression, stress, diba? By helping their minds actually rewire it better, parang nire-rewire better to fit the current goals na kailangan nila. Okay? So siguro i-detail din namin yan moving forward. Pero sige, Luigi, any background in hypnosis? Before we share some factors on how hypnosis works.
Background on hypnosis or like me being as a hypnotherapist or
Ikaw,
hypnotherapist?
you being a hypnotherapist, bigay lang tayo ng application.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sige. So one of the the application like you na-mention nga ni Ken kanina is most of the initial methodologies and principles that will be taught to you is naka-center siya in therapy or managing people. So ako yun yung nakita kong unang application. Kasi with therapy, you're helping people find solutions dun sa mga problem na like I'm not productive, I'm sad, I'm not confident. Yun yung mga common na lumalapit sa amin. And then yun nga naguguluhan, I don't know how to make a decision. So with the use of NLP and hypnosis, either or is we are capable of helping people figure out a fit solution. By meaning of fit solution, ito yung talagang para sa kanila. Kasi normally, when we have a friend or somebody, a client na lumapit sa atin at may sinabing problema or minsan nga nagkukwento lang, we try to provide solutions for them. And then either normally it doesn't work. Eh. So kami, as a hypnotist and NLP practitioner, what we do is we help the client find something that they could actually, yun na yung susi. So that's one of the main difference nung tawag dito, like common consultations or common coaching with a coaching na in line with the principles and methodologies of NLP and hypnosis. So ayun, common use niya is sobrang gamit na gamit siya when in managing people as well. So like yung pag may mga tawag dito subordinates ka or mga tao ka
Mm.
na medyo may problema, ayun, kahit hindi siya talagang client na for coaching or therapy, natutulungan din. So like tayo Ken, parehas tayo may mga hinahandle na tao, tawag dito, eto yun, dito natin nagagamit din yung tipong pag na-problem sila, malungkot sa mga production nila, we are now with the right questioning and the right use of words, we are able to insight certain ideas sa kanila na medyo mas maging maganda yung outlook nila or ma-figure na ano ba yung kailangan kong gawin, ano ba yung kailangan kong baguhin, and then with a last boost na ma-push natin sila to take action because we set like ideologies of timelines, so yung ganyan. So gamit na gamit talaga siya with handling people better. So yeah.
Mm. So siguro we could jump to ano din, some concepts din no na kailangan na pwede natin pag-usapan ngayon lalo na about hypnosis. So with palagi nakaka-mystify, 'di ba? Parang pag tinatanong tayo, Ken, Luigi, ano ba yan? Paano ba yung hypnosis? Huwag mo ako tingnan sa mata. Baka, baka i-hypnotize mo ako, di ba? Bigla ako makatulog dito, di ba? Bigla, tapos magawa mo sa akin yung mga bagay-bagay. Pero here's the thing. We'd love to teach how to simply use it and simply defend, di ba, from it then. So for example, yung mga nakikwento, di ba, budol-budol, explain natin how it works para at least ma-defend nyo rin sarili nyo. Ang concept kasi na pwede natin pag-usapan dito is awareness protects. Tama? If you get to understand it better, okay, mas hindi ka na magiging prone to actually gets mo, maloko ng ganun eh. Tama? So, two sides yung pag-uusapan na. I'll cover how it works. Luigi will cover how to defend from it. Ayos ba? Okay. So, sa akin, ganito yan. Pinaka-importanting pag-usapan ngayon is yung factors on how this works. ABS formula. Una is, number one is letter A, attention. Okay? Do I have your attention? Kasi baka hindi. Pansin nyo kung paano ko binagalan yon para at least makuha ko yung katiting ng attention ninyo ngayon. Yung mga simpleng pause na to could actually push your attention further dito. Alright? So next naman, B, the bypass the critical factor or bypassing the conscious mind. So, main example ko palagi dito is yung tipong pag naglalakad ka sa kalsada tapos meron ka nakitang tao biglang nadapa. It doesn't happen on a day-to-day basis, di ba? Parang biglang may nangyari, nabasag yung plato. Kahit anong iniisip mo, minsan putol ka agad yun eh. Tama? And when that happens, ito yung susunod na importanteng factor dito, which is the S. Stimulate or suggest. Okay? So, pag nandun na tayo sa point na yun, yun na yung factors for hypnosis. Sinimplihan lang natin. So ngayon, how to defend? Luigi.
Ayan, Ken.
Bilis,
so, nga eh. So, mabilis din naman yung sagot dun eh, actually.
Yun nga eh.
Actually, inuna mo pa nga yung sagot eh, bago yung problem. So ngayon, siguro let's expand guys on how to have better awareness, how to have, kasi yun talaga siya, awareness and attention. Like for example, yung madalas na nagkakamali is ito yung mga yung lumilipad yung isip nila. So ngayon, also the same thing with people na nabubudol. Okay? So yung tipong, for example, first time mo lang magkaroon ng ganito kalaking pera, or baka naman meron kang pinoproblemang iba or may iniisip kang ibang mas importanteng bagay kaysa dun sa pera na meron ka sa bangko mo. Kaya there were times that you were na-caught yung attention mo to the point that they are now actually controlling yung mga ginagawa mo. Like for example, first time sumahod ng malaki, ako madalas nangyayari sa akin dati, yung naiiwan ko yung pera, naiiwan ko yung bag, kung saan-saan. So, kasi ngayon, yung attention ko is nasa ibang bagay. But what if I paid little more attention to the money na bit-bit ko? To the money in my bank account. I put certain protocols prior to leaving the house na pag may lumapit sa akin at dinala ko sa bangko, titigil ako. Parang ganun eh. Like, you already preparing that kind of scenario. Kasi ito yung common scenario ng mga nabubudol. Is they come into a conversation with a random person. This random person builds rapport enough to actually suggest for you to give them money in exchange for something na you thought was, siguro, on equal value. So ngayon, if pre-prepared ka na pag lumabas ka, hindi ka kakausap ng strangers, hindi ka na tipong pag meron ka na lumapit sa your offering you something too good to be true, you back out. Pero kung lalabas ng bahay yung isang tao na walang ganong klaseng preparation, paano siya magiging aware na pwede mangyari yun? Paano siya ngayon makaka-respond better kung hindi na paghandaan prior? And normally, ito na ngayon nangyayari sa mga nabubudol. There's no magic trick to it na walang power na, sige, pumunta ka ngayon dito sa ATM, bigyan mo ko ng pera. Walang ganun eh. There's nothing mystical about it. It's about your thoughts being hijacked. Yung sinabi kanina ni Ken, bypass attention. How could they bypass your attention? Number 1, with grief, yung awa. Number 2, with greed. And sometimes compassion. Diba? Those are the things na normally ginagawa ng mga quote-and-quote ng bubudol. Ito yung pipili lang sila ng isa dyan kung alin yung mag-work sa'yo better, kung nakita nila medyo yung meron kang personality na yung greed, and then they'll try to give you a good trade that you cannot refuse. And once you are hooked, once your attention is already bypassed, once you already believe that these people are nice, then comes the suggestion na, itong gold bar ko, iwan ko muna sa iyan. O itong bag ko na may ganitong daming pera, iwan ko muna sa iyan. Bigyan mo na lang ako ng kalahati niyan. Mamaya balikan ko sa iyan. So, yung mga ganon. And that's where it happens. There's nothing mystical about budol-budol. It's about mind hijacking. It's about attention hijacking. But if you are aware of the things that are happening to you and you made sure yourself should be aware, then you have lesser chance of getting into this kind of situations.
Okay. So, ang main na sagot natin dyan is yung una kong factor na sinabi, attention.
Yes.
Do I have your attention? Kasi kung wala naman sa kanya yung attention mo, malabo mangyari yung suggestion tsaka yung bypass. Tama. Kung nga rin, naglalakad ka nga dun sa kalsada, tapos biglang may nadapa, pero hindi mo nakita, hindi mo narinig, walang nangyari. Walang nangyari. May kumakausap sa'yo, hindi mo pinakinggan. Nag-focus ka sa cellphone mo, kaka-aksi mo. Diba? Walang nangyari. Tama. Okay, so that's one thing. A lot of factors na pinag-uusapan natin din dito na gusto natin pag-usapan is how to actually help people, diba? How to influence behavior in the workplace. Pwede rin. Pero mga techniques na pag-usapan din natin would be some NLP techniques that can help with conflict resolution. Pwede rin yan. Marami. And how to build rapport faster. Okay? Maraming, I think last week, Jonica, one of her good friends, shared a lot of techniques then on how to manage situations in the workplace. And that's super nice. So gusto namin then to add value din ngayong araw na to. Okay? So punta na tayo sa isa sa mga topics natin, which is Neuro Linguistic Programming. Okay? So I'm gonna share a slide. Wait a minute. All right. Window. Here we go. Yan. Okay. So, Neuro-linguistic programming is, of course, ito yan. Pwede nyo nang basahin dyan. Neuro, your thinking process. Linguistic, your words. Programming, your behavior. Diba? Pero, to be more on the teaching side, we want to share how we personally define it. Okay? Kasi, for each and every practitioner na nakikilala namin through the years, when we talk about, ano ba yung NLP? Para sa'yo. Yun na, di ba? Para sa'yo. We would hear really different answers. So, sobrang lawak nitong practice na to. Iba-iba yung approach, iba-iba yung pagtuturo nito. Kaya, ang maganda dito is malaman natin from the both of us, me and Luigi, kung ano yung personal explanation namin. So Luigi, what's NLP for you?
Okay, so sa'yo ko na iwan yung para magkaiba tayo. So ngayon, Ken, I have a new meaning for NLP. It's actually a way of life as well. Aside from
Mhm.
it being a model of a certain thing na sabihin mo mamaya. So, ayun, it's a way of life. Kasi doon na lang ako mag-focus sa presuppositions of NLP din eh. Maliban pa doon sa mga concepts and other tawag dito, principles inside NLP. Yung NLP presuppositions pa lang, ito pa lang, pag in-apply na to nung tao sa buhay niya, sigurado ko, sobrang magbabago yun. This person will be creating, kumbaga, unbelievable results na akala niya before hindi possible sa buhay niya. And that's just one very little part of NLP. The principles and the presuppositions of NLP. Yun pa lang. And with that, NLP is a way of life.
Okay. So, sa akin naman, mainly if you get to search Google what NLP is, pwede nyo gawin yan ngayon while listening to this. Behavior changing language. Yun yung main na definition na nakikita ko doon na parang madali siyang maintindihan pag ganun natin in-explain. Ano ba yun, Ken? Behavior changing language. Can you elaborate? Meaning lang nun is maraming ways on how to influence behavior. So, kumbaga, you could use specific words, specific questioning patterns to actually help a person, okay, work with their mind or change their minds. Alright? Pwede mo ilagay sa context na yon. Pero, personal ko, for the couple of years na talagang tinuunan ko siya ng pansin, ang main na definition ko for NLP or Neuro Linguistic Programming is it's a process of excellence. That's it. So, ano ibig sabihin nun? Ibig sabihin nun is the concepts of NLP, if used, okay, used correctly, ito yung ginagawa niya. You break down, di ba? Kuwari, meron kang gustong matutunan, like public speaking, right? So, there's a technique in NLP called modeling, in where you get to like fully break down, alright, yung processing nung taong gusto mong kopyahin. So, for example, yung isang speaker, sobrang galing. Ikaw nagsisimula ka pa lang bilang speaker. Intindihin mo, what makes him or her? Tama? Ano ba yung environment na ginagalawan niya? Oh, sige nga, kung sinuot ko kaya yung kaparehong t-shirt or kaparehong polo na suot niya, will I be as influential as this person? Kung meron ako nung kapareho niya, will I be? Kasi here's the thing success, quote-unquote, leaves clues. Tama ba? Nagawa na nila They've already achieved that. So, titingnan mo na lang, i-retrace mo na lang yung steps nila, pero not just the steps. Kasi pwede mo rin tingnan dito yung mindset. Okay? Maybe you could copy the steps, but the environment that they were in, hindi mo nakopya. Would you be the same? Maybe not, maybe yes. Tama? Pero yun yung tinitingnan natin dito. Because with these understandings na ginagawa sa Neuro Linguistic Programming, mas mapapadali ka with working with understanding new skills. Lalo na if you want to acquire it. So same thing with the story ng NLP. This has been taught to me, to us, and ganito lang yung kasimple. They looked, yung mga founders ng Neuro Linguistic Programming, they studied people who had like some mental concerns. So for example, a person with depression, some people with depression, pero meron mga tao din na may depression dati pero they're completely functioning right now in society. Tama? So ang question is, what made them from point A, what led them from point A to point B? Tama? Kung tinanong natin sila, ano yung mga specific na ginawa nila? Tama? And what if we apply yung mga ginawa nila dito sa mga friends natin or people that are going through those mental concerns? What could happen positively? Right? So, yun yung pwede natin tingnan dito with understanding Neuro-Linguistic Programming and these concepts. Okay? So, ayun. NLP. So, i-share ko lang din yung a bit slides na, konting slides namin dito. Teka lang. Wait lang. Window, NLP. All right. So yan. Yan. NLP is a study on how your language and perception affect your neurology and behavior. Yan. To put it simply, yan yan. Models, techniques. Okay. Influence the way we think, we feel, and act. Okay, yan. Yeah, through words, yan. Okay. Usually hindi na ako nagbabasa ng slides. You could read it na naman eh. Mind technology, yeah, psychology and hypnosis or hypnotherapy and many more. Okay? So, since maraming pinagkukuhanan ng techniques and understanding ang NLP, ang lawak-lawak nitong study na to. Kaya gusto namin din i-simplify at ituro sa inyo yung mga pwede ninyong i-apply kaagad. Okay? So, next natin, Luigi, wait lang. Oy, meron ka pala dito. Wait lang. I-share ko tong part mo dito, bro. Wait lang. Window. Here we go. Ayan. Luigi, could you tell us more about system process and structure?
Okay. So this is like what Ken mentioned earlier kanina. Ito yung medyo breakdown ng process ng modeling. So with the process of modeling is first you pick out a certain subject, a certain skill, a certain like a personality na gusto mong makuha, and this is actually how NLP came to birth. So like there were these three people na mamaya ipapakita namin who's na yung nag-umpisa ng NLP was looking at these people. How are these people being excellent? How are these people being good in personality development? How are these people being good in conversation and communications? So, ito yung pinaka-process. Kaya pa-show na lang ulit ng slide.
Sige, bro. Ito.
Okay yan, guys. So, first is tawag dito, NLP is the process structure of excellence. So, tawag dito, kala ko modeling yung sinow mo na slide kaya Bills kasi. So, pero doon na rin tayo. So, ngayon with modeling is tawag dito, how you do that is you pick out a certain subject, you pick out kung ano yung gusto nyo ma-acquire sa kanila, and then just the question of how is this being possible? Paano niya nagagawa to? Paano to nangyayari? Bakit siya sobrang charismatic? Bakit siya sobrang tawag dito galing na leader, na manager? And I want to be like that. So you break down yung proseso, yung sistema, yung structure ng mga actions niya, ng mga decision making niya, which is in a way that person's personal process, system, and structure of excellence. And once you have that blueprint, you start applying it and acquiring it. So, yun.
Okay. So, ayan. Next. Ayan, Luigi. Yeah, you could
So, these
cover
are
this.
the founders of NLP, mainly John Grinder and Dr. Richard Bandler. So, next slide.
Okay.
So, in 1970, University of California. Ito yung time na nag-start si NLP. So NLP was developed out of the activity of behavioral modeling. So yung sinabi ko nga kanina, they were trying to figure out certain behaviors that led to great results. So okay, and that yun nga yung with that study ang nakita nila talaga malaking factor is how a person thinks and how a person acts or behaves. But before a behavior there is a thought. Kaya nga kanina yung sinabi yung mga pinag-uusapan nila Darwin earlier on was very on point with the topic that we have right now. Very on point with what NLP stands for. It's about yun nga tawag dito yung mga thoughts mo, yung how you tawag dito word those thoughts before sila mag-translate to feelings and actions and to more thoughts. Yung sinabi nila kanina, the mind moves in the direction of the currently dominating thought. It is like as simple as where attention goes, energy flows. Okay? Yun na yun eh. So, it's the same thing. Nakita nila na yun yung pinaka-important. Yung paano ka mag-isip or kung ano yung iniisip mo at the moment and a certain way of how you do the things that you do that produce the results that you do. So, yun.
Okay.
Ito
Yan.
ito yung unang tatlong pinanggalingan ng mga initial principles and techniques and the models within NLP, which is Virginia Satir, the mother of family therapy, Fritz Perls, the founder of Gestalt therapy, and Milton Erickson, the founder of Ericksonian hypnosis. Kung makikita nyo dito, two are mainly for behavior change, and number one is for communication that leads also to behavior change. All of them having in common is they help people become better individuals. They help people overcome mental health related situations. So yun.
Relationships din. Improve relationships din. Pero idol to, Milton Erickson. Napakagaling. Ayan. So, ito. Pag-usapan natin about systems din, no? Okay. Kasi, kung napapansin ko, siguro napansin natin to way back, parang there's a problem with people giving specific instructions, no, Luigi? So, kunwari, palaging nagkakaroon ng mga miscommunication. So, for example, sa isang company or sa isang business, di ba? Minsan, ang mindset ng owner, ito yung mindset niya. Pero, ang communication style niya is based doon sa perception and reality niya. Tama? Tapos tuturuan niya ngayon yung bagong empleyado, ito yung gawin mo. Kasi ganyan, ganito. Tama? Tapos sasabihin ng empleyado, sige po, sir. Tapos, ginawa na ng empleyado yung trabaho. Paggawa ng empleyado yung trabaho, pagpasa niya ulit doon kay owner, hindi naman mali yan eh. Sinabi ko sa'yo, ganito, di ba? Ay, sorry po, sir. So, napansin, kung i-breakdown natin yung nangyari, the instructions were made or given under the premise ng mismong utak ng owner. Tama? It was not specifically tailored fit for the employee to understand. Kasi posible pwedeng wala dun sa same wavelength, kumbaga. Okay? Kasi iba yung words na ginamit eh. Minsan, tayo mga Pinoy, minsan sabihin natin, umuo na lang ako, English eh. Diba? Nag-guess na lang ako para tapos na. Tama? Pero again, what we want to work with here, okay, is not just to give better instructions, is to also understand who's on the receiving end. Tama? So with concepts ng Neuro Linguistic Programming, we've been like talking with a lot of like leaders in the field also, na parang, teka lang, how can we work with this so that every time you give instructions, it's communicated better. Okay? Ma-make sure natin, una, balik tayo dun sa concept ng hypnosis. Do you have their attention? Tama? So, kunwari, wala yung attention sa'yo, wala, mahirap talaga yon. Okay? Pero balik tayo dito. Meron isang company na nag-consult sa amin, ang pinagawa lang namin every time na magbibigay ng instructions, okay? Kasi palaging nagkakaroon ng mistake dun sa magdagbigay ng instructions si boss, palaging bumabalik-balik lang, sayang yung oras. So ano yung binigay namin na solution? Teka lang, maybe yung mga tao nila were more visual. The instructions were given auditory, salita. Teka lang, palitan natin yung way of giving that instruction. Gawin nating visual ngayon. Okay, so ngayon, the instructions were delivered through a video. Video na yung instructions. Diba? Tinuro na rin dun sa video na yun kung ano talaga yung gagawin ng tao. Tama? And mas maganda ba yung naging resulta? Oo, kasi alam na eh. Hindi na pa ulit-ulit yung instruction because it was already recorded. Tama? O next thing pa na ginawa doon para maayos yung system. Kasi yun yung topic natin ngayon, understanding behavioral systems. Tama? So ang ginawa naman susunod is clarification. Okay? Nagets nyo ba? Sige nga, kung nagets mo nga, paki-detail sa akin kung ano yung natutunan mo dito. Now, the person has to make sure that i-explain pa niya sa'yo kung paano yung naintindihan niya. Doon simula pa lang, doon kaya mo nang mag-correct eh. Teka lang, may mali doon sa explanation mo, ganito yung gawin mo, ito yung improvement dyan. Tapos sabi niya, nga no? Sige. Now, as you already made sure that the other person has already acknowledged, diba, na nag-gets na niya, and napansin mo, nag-gets na rin niya, mas liliit na yung room for error. Tama ba? Pero it all starts with understanding also the framework ng utak ng mga kausap mo. Tama? So most of the time when we get to deliver some presentations, tinitingnan din namin yung audience namin. Should you deliver it in a manner na you could talk about jargons and jargons and jargons and other people would not understand it? Or, 'di ba, mag-focus ka sa sobrang lay down mo, pa-basicin mo. Tamo, Tagalog tayo ngayon. Focus lang tayo dito. Bakit? Kasi ang importante dito is naiintindihan ba ng maigi? And ito yung pinaka-importante dito. Pwede kayong magtanong. May comment section dyan. Pwede rin kayong magtanong. Alright? So, ayun, Luigi, anything to add with behavioral frameworks and systems? Actually, marami tayong example dyan sa systems na yan.
So, one particular yung favorite na tawag dito na gamitin natin is yung one of the mind systems that you can use is yung pre-preparing for things. You're setting up yourself for success. Like yung Ken yung yung gusto mag-exercise, 'di ba? Tapos ang kailangan niyang unang gawin nun is na-suggest sa atin sa kanya is yung ilagay niya yung sapatos niya in front of the door. 'Di ba? So ngayon dahil nandun na 'yon, normally paggising niya na dati wala naman yun, hindi niya nakikita kaya lesser yung chance, lesser yung awareness na kailangan niya mag-exercise. Ngayon it just happened on one day bigla na lang daw niya sinuot. So, and then hanggang sa tinuloy niya na yung goal niya na makapag-exercise, na makapag-jogging. And because andun you set up yourself for success. That's another way of creating systems. And this was just a simple system inside the mind. Okay? Na pag nakita ko to, this is a sign that this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Okay, or anything related to that pa, pwede mo pandagdagan. Yung mga gears mo for your, kung ano man yung chosen sport or exercise mo, make it available in front of you. Okay, yung tipong gusto mong magbasa ng libro, gusto mong ayusin yung project, gusto mong tapusin yung isang task ni boss. Make sure na paggising mo, makikita mo siya. Make sure na paggising mo, may makikita kang sign na dapat ito yung mga una mong gawin. That is setting up ourselves for success. It's a system, it's a process na pag naging habit mo to, sa lahat ng gusto mong magawin, you'll be setting up kumbaga certain actions prior to taking that action para ma-ensure na magawa siya. So yun.
So yung karamihan nagko-consult sa amin would be some for confidence, some for public speaking, some for productivity and procrastination. Ang laking bagay nun, no? Sa akin, ako sobrang tamad ko. Yun nga, sobrang favorite skill ko yun. Pero here's the thing, I have to work with systems so that I get things done. Okay? So yung simpleng paglagay sa calendar ng schedule, tulad dito, naka-schedule to sa akin nakalagay to sa calendar ko Every time, I had to create habits, okay, better habits, so that I have to always look at my calendar so that I'm reminded of what's gonna happen for the day. Tama? Pero, at the same time, meron din ako mga papel dito sa harap ng PC ko kasi wala akong choice Every time, paggigising ko sa umaga mamaya-maya, haharap na ako dito sa computer Tama? And wala rin akong choice kundi tingnan yung keyboard ko. So, nasan yung papel ko? Nasa ilalim ng keyboard. So, kung ano yung mga trinabaho ko kagabi, yung mga sinusulat ko dito sa mga papel ko, di ba? Wala akong choice kundi makita rin siya the next morning. Tama? So, you can create habits, you can create systems so that it would greatly benefit you kung ano man yung gusto mong gawin. Okay? So, ayan. Sa Apple, sabi niya, interesting. Daisy, watching from Sampaloc. Yeah, nice. Allen, hi. Alright. So, again, if you have any questions, tara, Q&A naman tayo mamaya, pero basahin na rin natin yan mamaya-maya. Alright? Okay. So, for our next slide, let's talk about, teka lang, I'm gonna give a preview also on that, how it looks like. Okay, Luigi, we're talking about flexibility and productivity. Okay, so Luigi, what are your thoughts with NLP, Neuro Linguistic Programming, with this topic, flexibility and adaptability?
So this is a way of response kasi or sa isang certain situation, and there are a lot of things na pwede natin magamit with the use of NLP here. Pero ito kasi, normally this will be discussed about a person being flexible and adaptable to their environment. That gives them a higher chance of kumbaga reaching success. Kasi like for example, you're talking to a certain person in a certain way, using the same questions over and over again, and expect the person to have a different kind of response. You're trying to figure out what's wrong. You're trying to help the person or get information from the person, and the one who's not changing the way they are questioning and the way they are talking to the person, even just the manner, the words used, how it is being conversed, will get the same response from that person. Ngayon, if like sa atin, automatically shift if this kind of questioning pattern doesn't work. We'll go with with a different, like for example, the most common, ano ba yung mga gusto mong mangyari? Coach, hindi ko kasi alam kung ano yung mga gusto kong maging mga goals ko. Okay, sige, ibahin natin tanong. Anong ayaw mong mangyari? Ay, ayoko nung ganito, ganyan. And then a lot of information comes out na. And that's just core concept non questioning patterns. 'Di ba? And we just shifted. Contrast pa nga lang ginagamit nun, and there's a lot of kinds of way to communicate with people. And that's just a very simple example of how flexibility, adaptability, and an NLP principle is being used. But yung pinaka-core nun is, if you want something different, do something different. And there's a lot of ways that what you have been doing now can be done better and differently with the use of NLP concept if you apply it. So, yun.
Okay, yung siguro added concept diyan, no, yung sa pagbibigay ng advice, no? Actually, ang laking factor nun kasi people get to reach out to professionals. Sabihin natin some coaches, tama, for they don't know what to do. Okay? So siguro sa approach na ginagawa na namin or tinuturo din namin is mainly, as much as possible, hindi kami bibigay ng advice. Kung pwede, hindi talaga. Kasi sa NLP, we get to use our languaging patterns, our words, so that they can come up. Your subconscious mind can actually come up with the solutions for your problems. Kasi kung titingnan natin, sino ba gumawa ng problema in the first place? 'Di ba? Ikaw din eh. Sa'yo nang galing din yung problema. So yung solution, manggagaling din sa'yo. So what we do is help the person come up with the thought or the action needed so that they could solve the actual problem or reach the goal that they're intending to get. Alright? So for example, ang problema, Ken, kasi, hindi ko na alam yung gagawin ko sa relationship ko. Yung boss ko kasi, for example, sa relationship muna. Kasi, parang, hindi ko na, nahirapan na ako mag-adjust sa sitwasyon ko sa pamilya ko. Okay? So, di ba, humihingi siya ng advice. Ano dapat kong gawin, Ken? So, ito yung babalik natin sa kanya. Pwede ko i-arrange ko yung questioning patterns ko to fit their world, their reality, not mine. Nililinaw ko yun, their reality, not mine. Okay? Okay. Bigay natin yung solution. Okay. So, ano yung tingin mong specific na pwede mong gawin that could affect this scenario positively? Okay? Frame ko yung question in a way, tama, na mapapaisip siya ng mga paraan para dun sa problema niya. Sige nga, Ken, sige, tingin ko dapat ganito yung gawin ko. Kasi most of the time, alam na natin yung solution eh. Karamihan na lumalapit sa mga coaches and napapansin ko lang. Pansin ko lang to hindi to applicable sa lahat. This is only for some validation. They already know the answer and they want to validate that answer with a professional or a person with authority. Okay? So ngayon, ang ginagawa namin is to help them get clarity with their decision or provide them with options or suggest options to them. Kasi ito nga yung topic natin, adaptability and flexibility. You become more flexible if you have more options. Tama? And here's the thing, with talking to people and you're mostly emotionally connected with the problem, what happens? Minsan nahihirapan ka mag-isip. You're too much involved eh. in it. Tama? That's why for coaches that are outside the problem, they could see a bigger picture, or we could help the person see the bigger picture if they could actually take a step back. Okay? Pwede yun. Pwede mo rin gamitin yun, pwede mo rin gawin yun sa languaging. So, yun yung mga pwede natin gawin. So, marami pang pwede pag-usapan regarding that, pero siguro since we're onti lang din yung time natin, let's focus on some other techniques na pwede natin aralin ngayong araw na to. So, next topic natin, let me share the screen. Okay? So, our next topic right now is anchoring and links and association. Okay. Luigi, you have some info regarding anchoring that you could share?
With anchoring is sa general setting nito is with work,
Uh-huh.
yung workplace na lang muna pag-usapan natin or certain people within the workplace or yung mga kunyari ka-opisina, mga boss. Pag medyo tumagal-tagal tayo sa isang lugar or nagkakaroon na tayo ng certain associations or certain na mga nililink natin na ideas doon sa kung nasan tayo tsaka yung mga tao doon. So for example, workplace na lang muna yung example natin. Yung workstation mo, yung workstation ng isang tao, anong anchor meron ka diyan? Anong association meron ka diyan? Anong tingin mo diyan? Anong pakiramdam mo pag nandiyan ka nagtatrabaho? Pag nakita mo yung isang taong dumaan, yung boss mo o yung ka-office mate mo, do they make your day or nababad trip ka ba, naiinis ka ba? Kasi bakit? Tanungin ulit kita. Ngayon na mas aware ka na, anong association yung binigay mo dun sa tao na yun? Ito ba yung maiinis ka pag nakita mo siya? Matutuwa ka pag nakita mo siya? So ngayon, how do you make use of it? Kung meron kang positive associations or anchors, immerse yourself more with that. Like when I'm doing motivational talks or inspirational talks, when I'm asked how do I become more tawag dito, more motivated, how do I have more passion or grit? And then expose yourself to that. Watch a lot of animes, watch a lot of heroes winning despite trials. So that's how you become tawag dito, to overcome magkaroon ng ganung klaseng personality. And that's the same thing here. Anchoring, you will be tawag dito, you will slowly become what you are, where you are in or what's surrounding you. So if you're surrounded with negativity, na ikaw pa mismo yung naglagay ng idea ganun, you'll become a negative person in that certain place or in that certain time. But if you tawag dito, create a lot of positive anchors, of positive mga associations with things, and then you surround yourself with that, like yung mga, for example, things that make you, like ito, you anchor ko with this, na very positive. So every time I see this in front of me, it gives me that thing na gusto kong makuha sa kanya. So ngayon, if you want to make use of anchors in a positive way, in a helpful way, associate certain things or certain emotions, certain feelings to certain things, and then you surround yourself with that particular thing, person, place, or idea. Okay, and that's how anchoring works. So Ken will add a different kind of example with this. So yeah.
Okay. Yan, I really love this topic, yung anchoring, no? Kasi para sa akin, everything is anchoring. Mula nung bata tayo, kumbaga tinitingnan na natin to in this manner eh. We associate things. The mind associates things. It loves associating things. So for example, school. A is equal to, di ba? Apple. B is equal to boy. C is equal to cat, di ba? D is equal to dog. I mean, for different schools, it could be different, di ba? A is equal to, di ba, airplane. It could be different. Tama. Pero again, at a younger age, we were already taught to associate things. Tama ba? So, again, one of my favorite examples is one of my friends, kasi mahilig kami magpunta ng Tagaytay. And nung pumunta kami ng Tagaytay, nung nasa kotse kami, medyo malungkot siya. Sabi ko, pare, ba't malungkot? O pare, naalala ko si ganyan eh. Yung ex niya, naalala niya. So, ano ba naaalala mo dito? Tapos tumawa na lang siya. So, alam na natin kung ano yung mga, kung ano-anong pinagagawa niya doon sa Tagaytay. Pero here's the thing. Tagaytay is equal to X. Yun yung naalala niya, yun yung naka-anchor sa utak niya. So, he feels bad about it. Alright? So, same thing with one of my friends. Doon sa isang Starbucks sa May Taft, doon siya na-busted. So, every time na magkakape kami doon, he feels awkward about it. Parang, pare, wag tayo dito. Naalala ko na na-busted ako dito eh. Tama? Anchored yun doon. Pero again, that's ang anchoring associated to place. Tama? Now, let's talk about anchors that can be associated to something good. Okay? Now, I want to ask you this question. When was the last time? I'll make it a very hard question for you. It could be easy for some, but let's make it difficult for some. When was the last time you felt really, really happy? All right? I want you to remember. I want you to go back to that place. I want you to go back to that time. Just see what you see what you've seen, hear what you've heard, feel what you felt. Okay na? Okay? Now, here's the thing. We just added two words there to make it difficult for some. Ano yun? Alam nyo ba? Diba? Kasi, ito yun eh. When was the last time you felt happy? Happiness. Pero when I add two words, when was the last time you felt really, really happy? Nakita nyo, may diin pa yung second na really. It changes a lot of things inside your head. And that was just me adding two simple words. Tama ba? Okay. So for some people that feel bad for like some time or they're stressed, here are some tips that you could actually use. I want you to actually think of your favorite food. That when you eat this food or drink this drink, you feel good. For some of my friends, that would be some Starbucks coffee or some milk tea from somewhere. Okay? So when they feel bad or they feel stressed sa work nila, they could order this drink or that food that would actually make them feel better. Ako, anchor ko sa sarili ko, pag may sakit ako or sobrang pagod na ako sa mga ginagawa kong work or anything, ang ginagawa ko lang, I order my favorite food, which is either a quarter pounder from Domax or a pizza from Yellow Cab. Bakit? After, pagdating nandito, kahit papano, I'd feel better. Pero hindi ko palagi inaaraw-araw yan. May time lang talaga, pag rare occasions lang, parang nire-reserve ko siya, para at least when I feel down, I could order something to make me instantly feel good. Okay? So yun, pwede ninyong gawin yan. So if you feel bad, alamin ninyo, why do I feel bad? Ito pala yung mga anchors na to. Okay? So ano yung mga good anchors? You have to list it down also. For some people, ako, I use this, my wedding ring, a watch, even this, my coat. These are all anchors for me. So if you feel not confident doing your presentation, okay, find an anchor that could make you feel confident. Pero mas important sa akin yung find an anchor that would make you feel more comfortable. Okay, yun, Luigi. Next, may add ka pa ba?
All good, bro. All good.
All good, bro. All right. So next tayo, window, anchoring and association. All right. Okay, persuading through the senses. Yeah, Luigi, you could talk about VAK here. This is the visual slide.
Okay na, mas fit siya sa... Sige,
Okay.
Una ka na.
Sige. Okay. Sige. So, talking about visual anchors, here's the thing. Visual presentations. Okay. Okay, we have 15 minutes. All right. So, ganito yung setup. One of the concepts with Neuro Linguistic Programming is understanding visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. Okay? To put it in simpler terms, ang tawag namin dito is learning styles. Okay? So when we get to present or talk to people, kino-consider namin palagi ito. So number one, visual. So there are people that are highly visual. Dominant trait nila yung pagiging visual nila. So how do they learn? Through seeing things. Tama? Pero here's the thing. Let's apply NLP to this concept. Okay. So understanding that a person is visual, how do I need to communicate with that person? So ngayon, I don't have to speak like pabagal. Okay, so ganito yan, etc. Because most visual people or people who are visual are more focused with mabilis sila magsalita. Gestures and pictures. Okay? So words that I get to use when talking to them are words that could help them visualize in their heads. So I want you, if you could actually imagine a red sports car in your head right now, what would it look like? Tama? Imagine, look, color define ko yung color, a red one. Tama? And people could easily picture it in your head. If you were to imagine yourself 5 years in the future, sinasabi ko palang nag-iisip ka na eh. Tama ba? Ito yung language part ng NLP. Could influence then thoughts, diba? That could lead to influencing behavior. Okay? So same thing. So there are people that are highly visual. Okay, communicate with them through their how they learn. Next is there are people who are highly auditory naman. Ano yung sense na gumagana sa kanila? Tenga. 'Di ba? Hearing. Okay, so as we get to look at people, siguro favorite example ko dito yung nangyari sa akin nung bata pa ako. I mean, my dad, palagi kami nag-uusap ng dad ko, pero may time nung bata ako, napakakulit ko kasi nung bata talaga. Kahit ngayon, makulit pa rin pala ako. Okay, so ang sabi niya, alam mo, pag kinakausap ka, humarap ka. 'Di ba? Tama, galit siya nun eh. Galit siya nun. Pero, knowing myself, I'm highly auditory, I did not need to actually look at the person to actually listen and understand. Tama? Kaya when I study, it's not with books. Sa akin ngayon, it works well for me to listen to podcasts. Because I'm highly auditory. So sa mga kaibigan natin dyan, kaway-kaway, yung mga highly auditory people, yan. Diba? When you get to listen, okay ka na doon. Pero here's the next. Meron mga tao na kinesthetic that gets to focus on feeling. Ay, balik tayo sa auditory, no? Yung mga words na, alam mo na, narinig mo yung bago, I heard that. That sounds good. Diba? Yun yung mga words na ginagamit ng mga highly auditory people. And when they get to speak, meron yan certain rhythm that they use also. Minsan yung mga tono nila, diba? May certain rhythm. Diba? Kung mapapansin ninyo ang mga bagay na ganito. Diba? May mga taong ganun. So, ganun yan. Next is yung kinesthetic naman. Kinesthetic means more on feeling and action. Right? There are people that actually take the action first. Tama? And they learn from that action, from the mistakes na ginawa nila doon. Tama? Yun yan eh. So, there are people that are kinesthetic. They're more focused on the feeling. So, getting to understand, okay, and differentiate a visual dominant person and an auditory dominant person and a kinesthetic dominant person, iba-iba yung approach mo sa kanila when you get to teach and communicate with them. Tama? So, here's one thing that one of my good friends have actually shared with us. How do you actually create charisma? Habang tinitignan namin working with persuasion, napansin nga natin na we all agreed with it. Teka lang, most charismatic people get to focus on VAK. They communicate, one, visually, they communicate, two, auditorily, or ano ba, auditory, kung ano man, and three, kinesthetically. Tama. They're communicating on all those three levels. That's why they're more communicative and they're more influential. You could notice public speakers change their tone specifically. Papansinin mo, may mga times na mabilis ako and may mga times na kailangan ko mag-highlight. There are also times that I have to use my hands for gestures so that the visual people in the crowd could get to they get to listen and understand better because I'm communicating specifically to them. That's why we're using also the slides for visual. Tama ba? And we're using specific words so that we could also communicate with those who are highly kinesthetic. So, okay, Luigi, anything to add with VAK?
So, To add with VAK is aside from it being like you mentioned mo cannibal learning style. So that is you on the receiving end. VAK can also be used as your way of communication with people, as example and highlighted in one of the things sa mga na-mention ni Ken. You can talk to a person, you know, communicate with them with the visuals, with the sounds and with the feelings. And you can also learn through that. You can also choose naman on your end, like how do I learn ba? How do I like personally gusto ko matuto ng isang bagong skill o ano, will I go with a book, will I go with an audiobook, or will I go with a workshop? So doon pa lang makikita mo na yung difference, and knowing that things are not things are hindi sila pare-pareho. With this kind of awareness, now you get to choose which one fits you. And that's one of, again, a principle then ni NLP. It's seeing everything in a bigger view that allows you to create certain tawag dito, options you haven't thought of before, certain solutions you haven't thought of before. And this is one, ito yung nandun pa rin to sa side of NLP as a tool of creating systems and processes na ginagamit nyo with your work, with your kung ano, with your managing people or whatever you're doing. Kasi sobrang diverse na nakita namin na mga people who get into this or who learn or who get certified and licensed for NLP. Sobrang diverse nila eh. They come in all forms of industry. So even yung mga gusto lang matuto are coming from magkakaiba-iba rin siya ng way kung paano sila gustong matuto. 'Di ba? So yun siya eh. So yun.
Okay. So, siguro, we're gonna jump to our next topic then, which is, wait lang. This is called modeling and mirroring. Actually, matching and mirroring then. Tama, Luigi? So, sige,
Yeah,
let's
modeling,
talk
mirroring,
more
matching.
about, modeling. I think we discussed that earlier then. Luigi, pero what are your thoughts about modeling?
Ito, yun nga, this, let's make it short and na malaman. This is what gave birth to NLP, this technique. So if you see mirroring, matching, modeling, yun agad tutukan mo agad yan. Because this is what gave birth to NLP. So, ang thoughts dito is, if it gave birth to the system of excellence, to the process of excellence, and then this exact technique, this exact model, this exact way of doing things will actually allow you to get any skill, any any kind of characteristic. It will allow you to get in. It will allow you to learn any. Okay? And just imagine kung ano yung pwede mong gawin, kung kaya mong magawa, matutunan, ma-acquire, halos lahat na nakikita mong magaling. What would that future be like for you? What would you be able to do? So, yun yung kasi na-discuss natin kanina kung paano siya gumagana in a sense eh. So, if you guys, that's the importance of it, ni modeling and mirroring and matching. So, Ken.
Okay. So, nung una ko kasing tinitingnan tong concepts na to, nung inaaral namin tong NLP, ang babaw lang ng tingin ko dito eh. Yung parang sabi ko lang, ganun pala yung matching tsaka mirroring. Yung mirroring pala, kopyahin ko yung movements niya, no? Okay, so pag sabi nila, pag nagyoyosi siya, yoyosi din ako para pareho kami nagyoyosi, makakapag-create na ako ng unconscious connection, di ba? Makakapag-build ako ng rapport. Di ba? That's one thing. You could actually use that. Pero kung titignan natin going deeper with these understandings and techniques, ang dami mo pong pwedeng i-mirror at i-match. Tama? Pero the concept of mirroring and matching is for you to actually lead. So nakita ko to, pinapanood ko yung mga salespeople, di ba? As they get to mirror and match sa simula. Tama? Ano lang eh, parang movements, gumanon yung kausap mo. Tapos nakita mo subconsciously, gumanon din yung kausap mo. Tama, kita ko na kagad doon, ay teka lang, may subconscious connection na ako dito sa taong to na, imbis na ako yung nagmi-mirror, siya na yung nag-mirror ng movement ko. Tama? So ngayon, with understanding that words shape their own reality then, the person's reality, you could also mirror and match the words that they use. Kaya very very important yung sinabi namin kanina. You could cut this into pieces naman kasi. VAK. What if you get to understand that a person is visual, and then understand also how they communicate, how they center their reality, 'di ba? How they communicate their reality, tama? Paano kung kinopya mo 'yon? Mas madali bang mapasok sa reality nila? Dito pumapasok yung mga tinatawag natin ng inception eh. Uy, alam mo, parang ang tagal na natin magkakilala. Parang, ang tagal na natin magkakilala. Di ba? Parang, ba't gano'n nag-gaan ang loob ko sa'yo? Because you're communicating with their reality, not yours. Ang laking bagay kung pareho din kayo ng reality, di ba? Kung pareho kayo ng kinalakihan, pareho kayo ng school na pinanggalingan. Tama ba? Ang dali makapag-build ng rapport, di ba? Ay, gano'n? Sa ganito ka rin? Ay, oo, doon ako lumaki. Di ba? Ang gaan ka agad ng loob mo. Instant mirror and match. Tama? So, minsan may mga ganong question. Minsan, pwede mong tanongin, what's your favorite music? Ay, tas nakita mo sa Facebook, doing your research, nakita mo sa Facebook, the person also likes the same song as you are. You like, di ba? The same band that your favorite band, pareho kayo. Ang dali makapag-build ng connection at rapport. And these are one of the techniques na pwede ninyong gamitin to improve relationships and further your communication styles. Diba? So, syempre, we'd love to share more in regards to how this works. Siguro, I'm gonna share the slides again para makita ninyo some of the topics that we would also be want to share. And ito, pattern interrupt, break states, di ba? We could talk about embedded commands, yung mga suggestions sa pwede mo itago sa common language patterns pero hindi nila napapansin. Pero nag-e-embed ka na pala ng suggestions. Di ba? Yan, tulad nito. Di ba? Nakita ko sa Makati dati. Be nice. Di ba? It looks like very simple. Di ba? A smile, be nice, but think about it, this is a very good embedded command. Very smart nung advertising group to gumawa nito. Be nice. Makati, di ba? Be nice.
Kung sino man yung gumawa nito na promote
saludo ko.
Intentionally.
Saludo dun sa gumawa nitong ad na to. Di ba?
Again, guys, these are just examples.
Examples lang naman to. Ito, we could talk about reframing also. Reframing statements, reframing the mind. This is a very, very strong and a positive tool for persuasion naman, if you get to understand these concepts. Yan. We could all be part din ng NLP, which is one core part of NLP, which is curiosity. Always be curious, always ask questions. Yan, meron din yung well-formed outcome. This concept or this topic really applies really well with coaching. If you're a coach, a trainer, or someone with a good heart to just help people, understanding this approach, understanding well-formed outcomes could greatly help you with actually solving problems faster and easier. Okay? So ito before we shortcut the discussion then, ito yung favorite ko rin eh. I talk about communication most of the time, lalo na for persuasion and negotiation. A lot of you know already this slide. So, siguro bilisan ko na lang. Communication, nakafocus yan. 55% body language, what you see. 38% tone of voice, diba? And 7% spoken words. Pero here's the thing, okay, that I want you to notice right now. Most of our communication that's happening right now does not even concern the 55 or the 38%. It is mostly focused on the 7%, which is now the 100%. Bakit? Text message, email, 'di ba? Messenger. Meron ba diyan? May ano ba diyan? May visual ba diyan? 'Di ba? Most of it wala. Kaya napapansin natin, most communications also happen in that case. Bakit? Kasi hindi ka aware sa punctuations mo. Hindi ka aware dun sa emojis na nilalagay mo. Minsan inappropriate. Tama. And minsan yung kausap mo are mainly focused on their reality and environment. Tapos yung way of communicating mo sa text is sariling environment mo and reality. Hindi kayo magkatugma. So minsan, akala mo, nagpapatawa ka lang, pero yung isang tao nagagalit na. Hindi nakakatuwa yung kinoment mo sa akin. Ha? Anong hindi nakakatuwa doon? Kinoment ko lang naman ng maayos. Tama? Because they don't know your intention behind that cellphone. Nagkaroon ka ng miscommunication because of just the languaging or just the punctuation that you used or na caps lock mo lang. Tama? So, again, the words have power. So, one of the things na pwede namin i-share sa inyo dito is there is an upcoming NLP, it's an international NLP certification program. Alright? And i-share namin sa iyo siguro, saan ba yan? Wait a minute. I-pull up ko lang. Luigi. Nandito yung yung ginawa mo, Luigi, na slide. Wait lang.
Akala ko the PDF.
Ito. So, this upcoming August 31, mag-start to. This would be focused on, actually, 18 sessions siya. 18 sessions. Because, of course, the trainer, the master trainer wants to make sure also that makukuha nyo talaga yung skill set ng Neuro Linguistic Programming. Kasi it's a certification program. Diba? Okay. So, this is under the Society of NLP. Okay, yan. And the oldest training body in the world, founded 1979 and recognized by NLP co-founder Dr. Richard Bandler. So here are the topics that would be covered throughout the 18 sessions. Okay, for each session, it would run for 4 hours, 3 to 4 hours, and focus on parang medyo classroom type tayo kahit Zoom online siya. Okay? So, yan, what is NLP, yan, presuppositions, yan, the mindsets involved, communication model, model of excellence, yan, ang daming topics. Alright? The trainer is Sean Su, a licensed NLP trainer. Actually, sa Singapore si Sean. And it's super nice kasi we've personally gotten to connect with Sean in regards to this training. And nakita rin namin siya mag-train. Okay? At napakagaling niya. He explained the topics really, really well. Sobrang effective and sobrang naintindihan din ng mga students niya last time. Okay? So, upcoming event details ito. This is through Zoom online. Ito yung schedules niya. August 31, ayan, 6:30 p.m. to 10:30. Tapos Saturday, 8:30 a.m. to 12 in the afternoon. Diba? So, 18 sessions siya. So, ito yung rates niya. So, for registration, 75. Pero again, here's the offer that we could help people with dito sa PHRG. If you're interested, okay? Ito, linawin ko na. If you're interested to actually become a certified NLP practitioner, merong forms dito, I think kinoment ni Tina dito sa ating comment section. Paki-fill up lang yung forms and we will actually call you within a day or two after mo ma-fill up yung form na yan, to better answer and assist you with your questions about the NLP certification program. The best thing that we could do and help you with is, of course, give you the early bird here, which is 50,000 pesos. Okay, this would cover already the 18 sessions and of course the certification, the science certificate ng as a NLP licensed and certified practitioner. Pwede natin din tulungan kayo with the installment plan. Okay? Pero kailangan nyo lang kami i-message kaagad para at least ma-assist namin kayo. Kasi limited lang yung seats dito. This would only be fit for 20 people. And ito yung mga modes of arrangement. And you could message me, Ken Somera or Luigi Manoza for it. Pero yun nga, message nyo kami kaagad. Kasi this will, simula na to August 31. So that we could assist you with your questions then and your inquiry. So Luigi, anything to add for this?
Ayun, with this yun, na-mention mo naman na lahat yung important details. And yun nga guys, this is a rare opportunity and nakita nyo naman kung gaano kami ka-passionate ni Ken when sharing ito. Kasi ang laki talaga nung na itulong niya sa amin with our career and with how we are able to help a lot of people and friends, especially and yung mga family members na who's needing the clarity, lalo na sa mga panahon ngayon na talagang ang dami natin kailangang i-figure out, ang dami nating ginagawang shift, ang dami nating ginagawang, we're trying to solve a lot of things right now. And this kind of tools, learnings, it has helped us a lot, really a lot, with creating better future and a better day para sa amin. So I hope, yun din yung hope namin sa inyo, kaya namin ginagawa tong sinishare what NLP can do is in the hopes that you have with this skill set, with these learnings, have a better life and the people around you. So siguro ano, I think this is also our ending message na, no, Ken. So
Yeah.
siguro ang iwan ko na lang is take note nyo yung quote kanina nila Darwin and with what they started. Check mo mamaya kung ano pa yung maging meaning niya for you. Pero as they were talking kanina, ang talagang nakita kong message there is a vision without action does not help the mission. And then like my previous na mga lives nitong nakaraan, always take action. Stop chasing, start hitting. Yun lang yung lagi kong goal ngayon eh. 'Di ba? Huwag ka na maghabol. Start hitting things. Start getting results. 'Di ba? Huwag ka na masyado rin na isip ng isip. Try to have result, and results are either like a win, a lose, a success or defeat. They're both results. And that's where you get knowledge. That's where you get wisdom. Sabi nga nila I'm not starting from scratch. I'm starting from experience. Have more
Nice. Yep.
experience, 'di ba? So, yun yun talaga eh. Kasi 'di ba, syempre pag yun yung takot ng tao eh, magkamali, matalo and all of that thing. Um, it's just a different kind of scenario, but parehas siyang may learning. And if you can make use of that learning, eventually, malaking ibabalik yan sa'yo. Doon may balik sa talo. Pag ginamit mo yung natutunan mo doon. So, yun lang yung message ko. Guys, start taking action on things and start taking action on your life. Yun lang.
Okay. Sa akin, yun nga. May nagtanong din kasi una, parang saan ba fit itong NLP? Okay? This is really good for managers. This is really good for leadership positions. Maraming umattend ng NLP certification program, mga doctors, mga therapists, mga life coaches, mga coaches, trainers, okay? Nurses, basta in the field of like working with people, this is actually a very good fit. Okay? So, yun lang. Pero siguro final message ko before we end this session, I've been focused on a lot of things in the past, lalo na sa sales and behavioral change, okay? And kung titingnan natin, ganito na lang. Thoughts to feelings. 'Di ba? Emotions, feelings. Tapos ang nangyayari dito is in sales, if I could get to influence thought, okay, it's easier for me to control the emotions and feelings. It's easier, tapos pag nandun na yun, it's easier for them, the persons, to make a better decisions in life. Tama? Kung maganda yung decision na nagawa nila, it could lead to a very good result. Tama? So balikan ulit natin, di ba? In NLP, sa mindset ko sa NLP, I always want to focus on the root. Tama? Saan ba yung root nun? Yung thoughts. Tama? Kasi ang goal ko, makapagawa sila ng better decision so that they would feel good about themselves, about making that decision, about buying a product, about getting a service. Tama? Pero it all starts with that small thing, thought, that could influence everything. Behavior, emotions, feeling, decisions. Now, I want everyone to be aware that you have the power to actually influence other people. Always add value to yourself. If feeling mo wala kang value ngayon, start today changing that mindset, working with new affirmations, or changing that environment that you are in. Sabi nga ni isang sikat na motivational speaker, di ba? Focus lang sa goal, di ba? Iwan. Baka minsan kasi yung mga kasama mo sa paligid mo. Sikat. Focus lang, di ba? Focus lang sa goal. Minsan yung mga environment mo, that's pulling you down eh. Right? Pero it all starts with this one. Start with a good thought. Cut the ties. Cut the ties na nagpupull sa pababa. Cut the negative people, the negative emotions surrounding you. Stop it. You get to allow it. Yun na lang yun. Pero this is not a motivational
Ay,
talk.
Ken.
This is a,
May bago tayo mag-end, may dagdag akong question dyan. Yung ginagamit ko with,
Lols.
ngayon with clients. Why would you
Lols.
allow that to yourself?
Diba?
Yun yung
You
ano
get
ko
to
eh.
allow
Why
it
would you
eh.
allow
You
that?
the things that you feel eh. Pero yan. Okay, we're done. Tina. Hi.
Hi, Tina in Manila.
Tina. Ayun. Hi, Rona. Yan.
Hello,
Yeah,
Ron.
we do
Yeah.
have a few questions.
Sige.
Yeah. Then tayo ng So, we have a question from a problem, or is it highly dependent on the current situation? She's interested kasi this concept can be used in managing people. Thanks and good job, everyone.
So, the question is, can NO be used in managing people, right? If I sum it up.
Is it highly dependent on the situation?
Dependent.
Or is it parang is there's a concept that you have to stick with? Or kahit kanino, in any
Ah.
pangyayari, lalo na here in the Philippines, ang daming pwede mangyari, you can use NLP.
Yes, definitely a lot of things. Dun nga sa isang concept na run through namin kanina, it talks about flexibility and adaptability. This doesn't only talk about the person, this also talk about the kind of techniques, the kind of strategies, the kind of things that a person creates using the core principles. So dito, aside do sa naituturo is kami ni Laken and the other friends na we have in the community, ang tawag dito, ang advocacy namin is for people to not divide the book and to just use the book and be flexible and create their own solutions based do sa pagkakaintindi nila at pagkakakita nila sa sitwasyon. Because yun pa rin babalik yung a solution that is fit. Okay, hindi lahat, there's no one solution. A solution that
So
is
one
fit for
solution,
the
yeah.
particular person or the situation. So yep, NLP can be used in a lot of things.
Sige, add ko lang doon. No? Ang dami kasing approach to a certain problem eh. Pero here's the thing eh, na I want everyone to notice also. Sometimes, as a coach, meron kang sariling reality mo because you, of course, have to believe that you're always better than the problem eh. Tama? So may sarili kang approach. Pero that does not mean that your approach would actually fit their subconscious mind and their reality. So sa tingin mo, tama yun eh. Pero sa tingin nila, tama rin yun. Pero hindi nila magawa kasi hindi nakafit dun sa kanila. Hindi nakafit sa kanila eh. So with working with these concepts with NLP, kaya very thankful ako sa mga mentors ko dito. Why? Because we don't even have to know the problem to work with the problem. Sometimes with NLP, we just get to ask the question na parang, okay, you don't even have to say the problem to us. Here's the thing. What's the problem that you have and what are the solutions that you could instantly think right now without even batting an eye? Tapos biglang may mga darating na. Kung wala, may different question for that, may different approach for that. Pero we guide them so that kahit anong situation pa yun nandun sa utak nila ngayon, kaya namin tulungan. I-assist lang namin sila with them finding those options for them to make better decisions. Biglang daming questions ha. Ayos to.
Yes.
Yun.
Oh.
Alright, follow-up
surprise.
questions kay Ms. Jo Fernandez. Sabi niya,
Yun.
we need productivity and efficiency ASAP with less cost. Obviously, diba? So, will using NLP result to a very soft approach that requires some time before it gets translated to real delivery of results? For example, like in a company, diba? You want people to deliver. With NLP, you're trying to guide them to get to your goal. But sometimes people move in their own pace. And in a company, syempre ang hirap din siguro for the boss na I need the results now, but how can I fasten up or hasten up the delivery of the results? Kasi if I'm just gonna wait for Sam or Anna to get there, baka patay na yung kumpanya, hindi pa namin nakukuha yung results.
So Tina, with this, thanks for that question. This was
This is
posted
Jo
by who?
Fernandez's question.
Okay, so with regards to that, NLP again, yung when you are taught, naka-center siya with people handling, especially therapy side. So there are marami naman makukuha mga syempre principles and methodologies nga. So syempre if like with this specific thing na medyo in line with productivity, yung tao na siguro napupunta doon or papupuntahin ng company is tawag dito parang ang dating is parang kailangan ko ng NLP for productivity. So NLP is eto na present. Send a person who is also have this kind of productive thoughts or may mga meron na kumbaga nagki-create din or nagso-solve din ng mga things related to a certain problem or in this case productivity. So pag siya pinapunta mo doon habang ina-absorb niya yung mga learning sa NLP, okay? Ngayon na-apply agad doon sa expertise niya which is helping with the efficiency, the results and the productivity. So mas maganda yung ganung fit. So para at least mas sakto talaga kasi syempre meron naman mga workshop and tawag dito talagang specific to just productivity. Pero ito kasi what you absorb, you apply to what you want it to go or saan mo siya gagamitin. And still
Okay.
that is possible.
Okay. Yung sa akin, add ko lang doon. Okay. Ito yung definition eh. Siguro, you said there's a soft approach. Pero here's the thing. We're not limiting NLP to being a soft approach because it could also be a hard approach. Okay? It could be different for each and every one. Pero here's the question that you could ask. 'Di ba? What could actually get you to actually finish this task kaagad? Again, you are in control here as a practitioner. It's based on the questions that you frame. Okay? So if you get to see these approaches as a soft approach because probably this is how we are communicating it right now. Pero again, this is language and this is modifying behavior. So pwede mong i-shift yung tonality or yung presentation mo to actually fit your goals. So kailangan mo ng resulta kaagad. Okay, then make the instruction na maayos so that they could actually fit na mabigay nila yung resulta kaagad. Kasi if I put the deadline there, if I put the pressure there, sabihin ko lang, okay, is the instructions clear? Okay, so when could you actually, or what has to happen? Ito yung quote and quote ko, what has to happen for this to be finished by Friday? Now, they're thinking already. You put that question and that suggestion para actually maipit sila dun sa time frame na yon. Tama? Kaya with productivity and efficiency, what we want to focus here with NLP is the anchor eh. So, busog sila. So, ibig sabihin ba nun, pag busog sila, mas marami sila magagawang trabaho? Pag nandun ba sila sa isang magandang environment, could they actually finish faster? Or, what if there's a big reward so good that they would be so motivated to actually finish the task kaagad? Hope that helps.
I agree. I actually agree with what Ken mentioned. It's all about how you phrase things. Then we have to remember NLP is neuro linguistic. Okay, you're using the power of words in order to shape, mold, manipulate, for lack of better term, behavior. Okay, so you it's not really for me from what I understand. It's not really a soft approach. It's more of how you use it for a particular situation. You want something to happen fast, then make sure that how you phrase your instructions, how you phrase your questions, how you phrase things will result into things happening fast for you. Okay, it's you have the control on how you're going to give the instructions. If you want it to something, if you want something to happen over a period of time, then sige, let's pace it. Let's put deadlines na medyo matagal pa. Let's work on it na yung instructions ko would take time for you or would allow you to learn things. But if I want it to happen now, sige, let's work on it. What do you need to happen or what do you need from my end or what tools do we need in order for for the results to be on my desk or for us to have the results by X date, 'di ba? May change na, nag-iiba na ngayon yung kung gaano kabilis ba dapat mangyari. So I actually agree with what Ken mentioned. It's more of the how you phrase the instructions and what the situation calls for. Ayan. Meron pa po tayong isa pa pong last na I think this is also a follow-up question. Here's a real example question based on situation. Is there a best technique that NLP can offer on how to deal with a finance manager that belongs to millennial age group that keeps on contradicting the ideas and concepts from the HR manager belonging to a baby boomer age group? Ano pong masasabi niyo, Sir Ken
Very
and Sir
practical
Luigi?
question.
Oo.
Great question by Nia Sheldon.
Ayan.
Nia, okay. Si Luigi, yeah, may point ka dito, Luigi.
Simple lang. This is a conflict and idea. So, like, tawag dito, first, try to understand yung side nila. Okay? So number one is understand them. See what they're looking at. Okay? Dun sa kung ano yung how they want to do things or ano before you again reshare yung side mo. Okay? Because if you want to like eto in almost anything, if you want a person to do a certain thing, do it first. Go first. This is the go first principle of of hypnosis. So if you want them to listen to you, listen to them first. So it's a very simple thing pero pag ginawa mo siya it does a lot of magic. So like yun nga with this kind of thing, kumbaga sabayan mo muna bago mo dalhin sa okay sa alon mo. So kumbaga kung sa naglalakad, kung gusto mo siya maglakad in the direction that you're gonna go, sabayan mo muna maglakad papunta kung saan siya pupunta. Then habang nag-uusap na kayo, tsaka mo pabalikin papunta dun sa'yo. And this is again, it's just a matter of listening and explaining and understanding and seeing kung may point talaga ba yung sinasabi nila or wala. And kung paano mo siya sinabi kanina at hindi kayo doon na nagkaroon na nga ng conflict clash eh. So po, dapat sa susunod mong isasabihin ulit yon, iba na yung manner mo. Iba na yung way. Okay? Kasi most likely, pag inulit mo kung paano mo siya sinabi kanina, you're gonna get the same result, di ba? Magko-conflict ulit. And doon yung nangyayaring loop kasi walang chini-change on the way of communication. So, communication skills, marami kang matututunan with NLP that allows you to create better question and better phrasing of certain things that could lead to different results and understanding of the people you're talking to.
Okay.
My husband has a very good example kasi when he hears people communicating, sabi niya, bakit daw ang mga tao pag nagsasalita, the first person, so for example, millennial age group person says A, B, C, D. And then like the HR manager says 1, 2, 3, 4. So both of them are using the English language, but both of them are just listening to their own selves talking about their side of the issue. And the PHRG group may nagsabi kasi we always believe that we are the protagonist of our story.
Of
We
course.
believe that we are always correct. The finance manager believes that his idea is sound and perfect. The HR manager also believes his ideas are sound and perfect. And they're communicating. But they keep on forgetting they're both on the same team and they're not supposed to win against each other. Kasi we always, when we debate about ideas, we get so caught up in the moment that we forget na it's actually not a battle. Pero pag kunyari merong sumagot sa'yo na contradictory sa'yo, hindi mo talaga matanggal yung feeling na parang, oy, nilalabanan ako. This is a person who's going against me and my ideas. And after a while, after 5 minutes of A, B, C, D, and 1, 2, 3, 4, it's no longer about A, B, C, D, and 1, 2, 3, 4. It's about galit ako doon sa millennial age grouper. Sabi ng isa, boomer to. Sabi ng isa, millennial to. It's not even supposed to be millennial versus boomer, right? It's supposed to
Never
be,
was.
there is a concept. Both of you have two different ideas. Both of you have to come up with a common solution to the problem. You're not supposed to fight. But people forget that. And siguro, what to do is, NLP is one way, maybe change the way you talk because it's A, B, C, D, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and the numbers and alphabets do not match. Right? Ulit kayo ng ulit, salita kayo ng email kayo ng email, na-escalate na sa taas. Pero sa totoo lang, hindi kayo nagkakaintindihan kasi A, B, C, D, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and both are not even answering each other. Nagsasagutan lang kayo pero hindi kayo nagko-communicate. At the end of the day, unless somebody comes in and says, hoy, both of you, what are you guys doing? You might not even come up with a solution to the problem. So maybe change the way you talk. If ABCD large caps, gawin mo naman ABCD small caps. It's not apples and oranges. At least talk about the same category, answer the same type of questions. Kasi again, finance manager may be talking about numbers and HR manager may be talking about people and they're talking with each other, but it's two different concepts. Both are correct, but maybe because they don't know how to talk to each other, nothing gets solved. Because that's how, di ba, finance manager and HR manager, yung isa sinasabi about cost, yung isa sinasabi about people. Both are correct. O, ba't kayo nag-aaway? Ba't talaga kayo nag-aaway, right? What is it that you guys want to happen? Ken?
Mm. Yun, add ko lang doon sa question kasi parang ang tanong niya, what's her name pala? Who's
The
asking the
name
question?
is Nia Sheldon.
Nia. Okay.
Which is Nia.
Yeah, Nia. In regards to an NLP technique, there are a lot. Okay, sobrang dami. Pero siguro to center on this, I shared the slide earlier. It's one thing nakasulat on reframing. Okay? So there's a frame here. I just want, since recent naman, in-explain ni Tina yung isang example. Okay? So magkaiba yung opinion. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, and A, B, C, D. Alright? So here's the concept I have in mind. Ako, personal opinion ko lang to. So tignan natin. Magkaiba yung opinion. Tama? Pero I want to give power to you. Paano? What if lang it's perfectly fine to be wrong. What would happen? Kasi here's the things Pwedeng ito yung information, pero beyond the information, tingnan mo yung values ng tao. Bakit nila pinaglalaban tong concept na to? Pwede naman nilang bitawan yan. So if we're gonna talk about technique here, a technique that you could use is a simple technique you could even search on the internet. You could search it. It's called the agreement frame. Okay? So what if I could agree with you first before presenting my ideas using some of the NLP understanding ng language patterns para ma-present mo siya in a better way through their languaging patterns. Probably, that's why nagko-conflict kayo. You are both communicating with different language patterns, your own perception lang kasi. Tama yung sinabi kanina, di ba? You're the protagonist of your own story. Tama? Pero what if you change that mindset, bunti pa ako magmura. Okay, you change that mindset, 'di ba? Pag nabago mo yung mindset yun, ang goal mo naman is to be understood Tama? Pero for that to happen, pareho kayo nga nagko-conflict What if you change the approach na ang goal mo muna is to understand the person first? What would change? A lot would change. Tama?
May when you
Sige,
were talking,
sige.
may naisip akong isang
Ano
bagay lang.
basag yun Reframe manipulation. I love this
Yung
topic.
Tsaka kailangan din nila palang tignan what is conflict for them.
Ayun.
Kasi for other people, yun nga, sabi mo kasi ideology, reframing, what your
conflict sa
views on things. Ano sa'yo ang conflict? Maganda ba or hindi? Kasi conflict is engagement in a way. Kaysa namang meron kang, for example, subordinate or katrabaho, hindi kayo nagko-conflict, hindi rin kayo nagkakasundo, parang wala lang, di ba? Yung conflict kasi is medyo may idea lang na hindi mapagkasunduan. And why is that a bad thing, supposedly, for other people? Yun ang unang perception na ayoko ng conflict kasi masama. Kasi ibig sabihin ayaw niya, kumbaga hindi na itong mangyayari. Yun hindi na itong mangyayari. The anxiety of it. But the thing is, conflict on the back end, like with what Ken explaining, if you change how you see things become different. And conflict is just like hindi mapagkasunduan. So ang problema lang pala, hindi dahil magkaiba kayo ng idea, is like ang problem lang na kailangan ma-solve, paano magkakasundo. Yun lang yung yung sagot kailangan ma-solve dun But people are so focused with the differences and not with the solution. And yun yung una nila nakikita, and then they become anxious and things blow up. So, mostly, syempre, kung ikaw ay isang conflict manager, dapat ang tingin mo sa conflict is not something that is negative, supposedly to start. It is something to be solved. A conflict is something to be solved.
Yes. Actually, gusto ko sinabi ni Sir Luigi. Naalala ko, minsan kasi may mga HR na ang primary na problema nila is they want everyone within the organization to agree with the policies, procedures that they have. But the problem is you can't have everyone agree. There will be people who will complain, who will raise questions and things like that. Ang nagiging problema natin minsan bilang HR is pag may nagtanong, pag may nag-complain, negative na kagad ang tingin natin. Bakit ka nagko-complain? Ayoko dito sa taong to kasi ganun kagad tayo. But tama si Sir Luigi, hindi ba't mas maganda na merong complaint? Mas maganda na merong conflict kasi it means that the person is still engaged. May gusto pa siyang mangyari. May gusto siyang sabihin. Kesa dun sa, ay pangit, o sige, wala na, ayoko na. Tapos hindi na nagsalita. Wala na. Disengage na pala, wala kang kaalam-alam.
Tapos patago sila magsalita.
Sa likod na basta sa likod.
Imbis na sa'yo sinasabi, ikaw na kaya mo i-resolve yung situation, sa ibang tao nila sinasabi, hindi ka ngayon nabibigyan ng chance to resolve the situation, wala kang kaalam-alam, dati tatlo lang yung ayaw sa'yo, buong kumpanya na pala may ayaw sa'yo.
Ayaw sa'yo.
Simply because hindi mo ine-encourage yung mga ganong questions. Bilang HR, dapat inaano din natin yun na okay, meron siyang question, where is this person coming from? Doon muna, wag kagad tayo na, complaint. I actually have worked with someone na si ganito ayoko dyan, palagi nila naka-complain. Palagi yung sinasabi niya, naka-complain, ayun sa taong yun. But when we actually started talking to the person and the person felt heard, may value naman pala yung kinocomplain niya. So we also need to be careful with that. Ayan.
We have a comment by Mirna Kabantog saying, maybe we'd need to have an open mind when handling this kind of situation. I think we need to focus on the solution. So solution based, not process. Okay, and then Joe also said, sadly, Nia Sheldon, the HR head, is still adjusting to the current group of employees. They're supposed to make productive in order to contribute to the business. Unfortunately, I hope that my colleagues in HR ramps up in learning or adjusting to the younger people. Reframing is indeed the word. Focus on the objective of what they independently believe in. There could be a meeting of minds and elsewhere. So napasarap ang ating discussion. So it's almost 5:30. So we'll just wrap up with last words from our guest, followed by myself, and then ending with Miss Rona. Sir
Luigi.
Luigi? Or
Yung sa akin kanina na-mention ko naman na eh. So, yun lang guys. Again, thank you for this opportunity to actually reach out to more people and make them aware that there's this kind of thing that could help them. That means so much to us already kasi we're really an advocate of this learning. And so, again, thank you, Rona. Thank you, Tina. Thank you, Darwin, for having us this afternoon and allowing us to share this to the community. So, yun lang. Again, guys, paano lang, sa mga manonood ng Team Replay, you can watch this a lot of times and then mas baka next time na panoorin mo to, mas marami ka pang makuha na learnings. And still, take action. Take action. Sa panahon ngayon, talagang dapat may mga ginagawa tayong bagay to have a better future.
Ken?
Yan. Yeah, sa akin naman, super, super short lang. Again, focus on the thoughts and learn how to actually influence more people in a good way. Pwede in a bad way, pero mas maganda yung in a good way. Diba? Pinaka-importante lang din sa akin is, I'm really super fascinated with how the mind works and with how NLP and hypnosis could actually help you as a person not just work with yourself, but also work with other people. Ang laking bagay pag napapansin mo na you have actually the power and the influence to actually help people around you. Create better decisions, create better solutions for others. So sa akin, ayun lang. Learn more about NLP, become a certified NLP practitioner. Dito may link naman dyan, i-comment na lang ulit dito sa ating comment section. To just fill up the forms and message lang kayo sa amin and we'd be glad to assist you with terms and everything. Yeah. So yeah.
All right. I can give a good example. My husband and I usually eat midnight snack. Okay, so usually ang gusto niya instant noodle or burger, he'll order from Food Panda. Now when I want to eat something, say for example pizza, I will not wait for him to say something na he would want instant noodles or burger. I would say, mukhang masarap ang pizza, no? Bago pa lang siya mag-order. Because that is in a way what NLP is, diba? Neuro Linguistic Programming. You start first with an idea that you communicate, that you vocalize, and then you say, diba, masarap ang pepperoni ngayon. Deal yata sa Domino said 2 pizzas for $6.99 or something. And then the idea builds up. If you want that pizza that evening, baka mas maganda agahan mo yung pagsasabi tungkol sa pizza bago pa lang mag-dinner. Mag-pizza ka na. And I've noticed that it's also the same when you're handling people in HR. When you want an idea, when you want to introduce an idea, do not wait for somebody to go to the HR department and say, magkano kaya ayuda ngayon? May ayuda ba? Ano, pagkain ba? Kailan ba ibibigay? Unahan mo na bago pa sila magtanong. You can say, for example, like, the ayuda will be distributed on the 15th, on the 30th. It will be this much. To at least give people that frame of mind na, okay, this is what we're gonna get. So that people will not come to you and say, kulang yata, pwede ba dagdag? Kasi nasabi mo na. Pero if you did not say it yet, you wait for them to come to you and parinig-parinig sa'yo, ikaw naman ang NLP ng tao mo. Right? It goes the other way around. Instead of you NLPing the other person, that other person is also NLPing you. That is the reason why, quick tip, if you want to have your ideas heard, HR department, what you can do is do not talk when everybody is meeting. Talk before the meeting happens. Bago pa lang nagkaroon ng meeting, tawagan mo na yung finance officer, tawagan mo na yung boss mo, tawagan mo na ibang tao, and introduce the idea that you want to share with them that benefits the department or that benefits the company. Right? Kasi most of the wins that you get is not during the meeting, it's not during the time of decision making. It's usually at the time when people are still asking, sige mag-brainstorm tayo. Anong mga ideas na meron natin? And that is how NLP works. Is if you are able to frame people's minds to accept your idea, to be open to the idea at the very least, right? Before the meeting happens, before the decision happens, you're already halfway there, right? So you frame, for example, like if you are an HR department and you already know that people are cost cutting, you can already start brainstorming with your team on how to preempt that to minimize damage. Get? So for example, sabihin mo na if you know for example na baka 20 people will be redundant, baka pwedeng unahan mo na yung department at saka yung mga tao sabihin mo, okay, maybe we can reduce work days so we don't have to do redundancies or retrenchments. Kasi if we already reduce the number of hours, like for example, instead of 6 days work, we can do 4 days work, we save a lot of people in the workforce. And then you get what you want. Same thing with our families. If you already tell them, oh, this is pretty much who I am, what I want, and you frame it, then it's a lot easier for them to understand their idea. That's the reason why a lot of people are saying, mabait naman ako, bakit walang nakikinig sa akin? 'Di ba? I'm so nice. How come nobody listens to me? Well, probably because you do not vocalize. Because you do not frame it in such a way that people will accept your ideas because you choose to keep quiet. I'm not saying you should be argumentative, but I am saying that if you improve your communication skills, not just, okay lang, kahit balu-baluktot ang English mo, kahit di ka magaling mag-English, pero marunong ka mag-communicate in such a way that the person is open to your ideas. As what you've said, Ken, reframing the idea in a way that they will understand and accept. Then, what type, you're not just an HR leader, you're already a hero. Meaning to say, kung anong mga desisyon na gusto gawin ng isang boss, dadaan lahat sa'yo yan because you can reframe ideas in such a way that it would be acceptable to different groups of people. Right? And I think that's the reason why we are having this NLP session is because it's very powerful if you know how to use it. And it's not really about grammar or language. It's how you frame NLP, Neuro Linguistic Programming, how you talk, how you change the use of words in order to share your ideas in such a way that the other person thinks it's their idea. Hmm? Rona?
Yeah.
Okay. Ako, ito lang po ang sasabihin ko sa inyo. And this is related to our wow quote for the week. Be careful of your thoughts, for your thoughts become your words. Be careful of your words, for your words become your actions. Be careful of your actions, for your actions become your habits. Be careful of your habits, because your habit becomes your character. Be careful of your character, for your character becomes your destiny. So, tatandaan niyo po palagi yan. What you think, how you say what you think, okay? All of that will be self-fulfilling prophecy for you. And bilang mga HR, tayo po, we also need to be very careful with our thoughts. We need to be careful with preconceived notions that we might have. Okay? Whenever someone comes to us, excuse me, ask us questions, wala muna dapat kayong wag agad kayo na pa-kontra kagad. Okay? Hear out the other person. Hear where the other person is coming from. Be careful of whatever's going on with our minds. Even before natin marinig yung buong story. We need to be very careful with that. At sa mga umattend naman po ng webinar natin ngayon ng ating pong HR Cafe, ang masasabi ko lang po sa inyo, guys, kaya po tayo nagkakaroon nitong ganitong mga free webinars for our self-development. Baka naman po isipin nyo na, ay, okay, gagamitin ko to sa mga empleyado namin kasi ang hirap nilang idisiplina. Naku po, wag po kagad ganun ang line of thinking kasi baka sa atin din naman kailangan merong baguhin. So it's always two ways. There's always two sides to a story. Actually, there's three sides to the story. My side, your side, and the truth. So we need to be very, very careful about these things. Okay? So yung mga interesado po to attend the NLP Practitioner Certification Program, the links are in our comment section. I would recommend everyone to attend that. Meron naman pong mga payment terms na nabanggit po si Sir Ken kanina. So go ahead, take advantage of that. Actually, last week ko pa gusto rin malaman ito yung mga payment options. I would really, really want to be part of this NLP certification program. And if you want also to improve how you communicate, how you influence people, how you talk to people, NLP certification is the right program for you. Ayan po. So ayan, maraming salamat sa ating pong mga attendees for today. Thank you so much sa ating speakers, Sir Ken and Sir Luigi. Thank you for sharing your wisdom with us when it comes to NLP. We hope to see everyone again next week dahil meron na naman po tayong napakagandang topic for next week na marami po kayong matututunan again. So everyone, we hope you enjoy the rest of the day. We'll see you next Sunday here at HR Cafe, Usapang Trabaho, Buhay at Iba Pa. Until next Sunday, bye everyone and stay safe. Bye-bye po.